It doesn't need too many orders. As long as there is a little stink, the guardian beast, and a kill command, they will do their best to kill all those beasts. An almost overwhelming battle took place on the hillside. 10,000 beast men who have always been invincible are completely planted here. In Fengwangshan Palace, the battle became white-hot. However, with the constant falling of the experts in the Beast Gate, the rest are just some people with average strength. Facing the hatred of the Phoenix people, they have no power to fight back. Until then, Yunwu looked at the scene of the battle and smiled. The ape in Long Tilt's hand just killed a Dharma protector of the Beast Gate. He turned his head and saw the smile on Yunwu's face. He couldn't help but smile and conveyed the order to other people. At the next moment, all the Fenghuang clansmen hiding in the dark turned into prototypes one after another, and the high sound of beasts resounded through the sky. In an instant, in the mountain palace, the number of beast men and phoenix directly formed a sharp contrast. More and more phoenix joined in the fight against Shangguanli. Are you strong? Can you overwhelm the phoenix people? Okay, then I'll crush you with quantity. Even a strong man of Emperor Wu is hard to deal with the army of a country. What's more, all the people who fight against him are the experts of the Phoenix clan. Although you can't fight as hard as Shangguan, if you want to fight alone, you must be dreaming. Cloud Dance watched the battle enter his expected situation, and the 10,000 Beast Gate team in the forest did not appear, so he was relieved. It seems that they have blocked those people. Nangong, go and help to deal with Shangguanli. Let's go and see if there are any fish caught in the net. Cloud Dance says to a few people in the South Palace, and then drags the dragon to pour evil and flies to the depth of the mountain palace. Phew, lazy. Want to go on a date in hiding? Shangguan glared and said, wait for me, I'll go too. Having said that, Shangguan moved and wanted to catch up. Hey, don't go to the party. Look over there. Your father is not easy to deal with. Situ Lan grabs the Shangguan who wants to follow and points to the Shangguan on the other side. Sure enough, we can see that the war situation over there is in a state of balance at most. Shangguan Li's strength is really not just talking about it. Shangguan turned his mouth and said with a sneer, otherwise, how could he climb to the present position? His prestige is established by means and strength. Speaking of this, Shangguan could not help frowning in disgust. He hated those people who made the style most. He hated it when he thought of his father. Forget it, you may have some difficulties in dealing with him. Let me meet him in person. He wanted to kill me at the beginning, but today, I will not be soft-handed. After that, Shangguan's body moved and flew directly to Shangguan's direction. Situ Lan shook his head. He couldn't help but feel sorry for Shangguan's father. He flew over with Nangong. Son of a bitch, you are here. As soon as Shangguan's figure appeared, Shangguan glared at him. Are you going to murder your biological father? It's treason, murder your biological father? Shangguan sneered. Why didn't you know it was treason when you wanted to murder me? Shangguan's sharp eyes were cold, which was obviously taboo. But listening to Shangguan's words, he didn't feel that he was wrong. On the contrary, he felt that it was Shangguan's fault. Son of a bitch. I'll give you another chance to come back. I can let bygones be bygones. If you don't agree, I'll let you die here with them today. After hearing this, Shangguan said, Go back? Go back and learn from you? To be as ruthless as you are? When you are not happy next time, will you give me a chase order? Shangguan's eyes were cold and he didn't speak. At this moment, he really wanted to kill him at the beginning. All the people around stopped to watch the farce between father and son. After all, it was a matter between two father and son, and no one else could interfere. It's just, is it really okay to say that on the battlefield? Fortunately, then Shangguan was too lazy to talk nonsense with his father and waved impatiently. You don't have to say any more. At the beginning, you had the heart to kill me. Today, don't be soft-hearted, or you will die. After that, Shangguan rushed up first. The black light flickers on the body, just like Shangguan Li, which symbolizes the relationship between them. Seeing this, other people rushed up, or else they could let Shangguan deal with it alone. The battle here begins again. This time, Shangguan Li, who had been doing well before Ming Ming, finally felt the pressure and gave full play to his fighting capacity. Deep in the mountain palace, Yunwoo and Longqingxi didn't worry about the battle. They knew clearly that the end of the battle had already been doomed. And their mission is to inspect whether there are any trapped fish here. It's not good if 1 or 2 people of the beast sect run away in the chaos of the battle. After all, they have to root out the grass. It's not that those who miss the net will be terrible, but in case they mix up in the Phoenix clan to be a spy in the future, the consequences will be the most serious. 2 people carefully toward the depths of Go, not let go of any corner, really found a lot of people hiding in the dark to observe the battle outside. These people obviously see the trend of the times, so they hide one after another, hoping to take the opportunity to escape, but they are pulled out by Yunwoo and Yunwoo. The more you go in, the fewer people there are. Until a long time later, no one was found. I think I've already looked for it. Cloud Dance looked around and said, even if it's hiding, it's estimated that no one can hide here. This is the interior of the Phoenix clan. As soon as the war is over, this is the most heavily guarded place. Who will hide here? At this time, they were in one of the most luxurious buildings in the mountain palace. In the past, it was the place where the elders of the Phoenix clan discussed affairs. Naturally, they were heavily guarded. Let's go back and see what happened to Shangguanli. Cloud Dance turns to the dragon to pour evil to say, but suddenly discover that the other side is frowning left to see right to see. What's the matter? Cloud Dance Alung, surprised of ask away. Longqingxia shook his head and said, I always feel that there is an ancient array here, but I don't know where it is. With that, Longqingxia reached for Yunwoo's hand and said, don't hurry to go back. It's not so easy to come back here after the battle. Let's go around and have a look. Maybe we'll find something. Yunwoo nodded, and then they walked around directly. Longqingxia can only feel the general direction, but the specific location cannot be judged. They can only wander around. Fortunately, there's no need to worry about the battle outside. Even if Shangguanli doesn't win there, they will be tied. The 2 of them went directly into the back hall of the meeting. The magnificent decoration, however, was tinged with darkness because of the residence of the people of the beast sect. Nevertheless, the furnishings here are still set up by the Fenghuang people, which has its own dignity and dignity. There is nothing strange about the whole back hall. Just like the general back hall, there are seats, pillars, cups and tea sets on the table. Even there are various things hanging on the wall, and many decorations are placed on the shelf beside. Some things are also conducive to cultivation. Where is it? Cloud Dance can't feel that kind of existence, so it can only turn its head and look at the dragon nearby. At the same time, there is also a doubt in her heart. Clearly her own perception is not bad. Why can't she feel it? Look over there. Dragon tilts heresy, pulls Cloud to dance, then toward a platform to walk. On the table, a transparent crystal ball appears on it. It seems that it is just a decorative function. No one knows what it is used for. In fact, even the Phoenix people themselves do not know his use, except for the saint of the Phoenix people. It seems to be here. It's broken from here. Longqingxia stands in front of the crystal ball and says to Yunwoo. Cloud Dance looked around in surprise, and finally his eyes fell on the crystal ball in front of him and said, is it this? Longqingxia frowned and said, I'll try. Then, the hand quickly changed, as if doing the array in general. Soon, a small array suddenly appeared, and now in his palm, a pure force as if from ancient times emerged from the array, and then poured into the crystal ball. Yunwoo was surprised that Longqingxi knew how to use it, and at the same time, she was staring at the crystal ball's reaction. I saw a burst of light in the crystal ball, shining the whole back hall like day. The ancient energy was directly absorbed by the crystal ball. Slowly, a blue beam of light changed several times and suddenly shot into the center of the roof. Cloud Dance 2 people look. This only then discovered that the roof unexpectedly has a complex pattern, appears extremely ancient and solemn. As like as 2 peas of, the blue light shines blue after the blue beam is shot. It is like a map, and a light pattern is formed on the ground. The light pattern slowly turns, as beautiful as water waves. When it finally turns to fit with the patterns carved on the ground, there is a boom sound in the whole palace. Then, a large area of prototype land on the ground suddenly sank down, and soon a circular passage appeared. Yunwu was shocked to see everything in front of him. Unexpectedly, there was such a place in the Phoenix family. Long Qingxie was also very surprised. In fact, he didn't know what was going on. He just made it according to his own idea with his intuition. He didn't expect that he really guessed it right. In the heart to that breath feeling appeared again. This time, even Cloud Dance felt different. At the moment, the palm of the hand, the palm of the array back, and Cloud Dance look at each other. The two nodded, quickly walked towards the channel, together into one. After they went in, the ground was restored to its original state again. Everything seemed to have not happened, and they fell into silence again. Cloud danced two people along the passage all the way to go inside. The feeling in the heart is constantly strengthening. The passage seemed to have no end. Two people walked for a long time, finally, met a fork in the road. This way. Dragon Qing Evil accurately pointed out one of the directions, pulled Cloud Dance to turn in together. It's a long way to go, and it's a dizzy road. Fortunately, it's just a road, and there's no fork in the road. Finally, waiting for two people, is an open cave. What's the situation? Cloud Dance frowned. Some funny said, "Did you walk so long just to see the cave?" Dragon Qing Xia also made a helpless appearance. Evil Spirit said with a smile, "Maybe it is true. The ancestors of the Phoenix people like to practice here, so they have this place." They looked at each other and shrugged. After that, Long Qingxie looked around seriously. "My intuition tells me that there is no danger here, but that strong feeling, what I am looking for is here. How can there be no danger?" Yunwu frowned and looked around the cave. "I saw a few words carved on the mountain wall. The winner, the loser." The simple 6 words, I don't know how many times I have heard them, but now they appear here. The imprint of the carving goes deep into the wall, as if with a lot of power. The 6 characters look plain, but they are full of arrogance. The person who wants to carve them must be arrogant. Here it is. Cloud Dance eyes bright, suddenly found something like, quickly stretched out his hand, fingertip pointed to the winner king in the word Wang. I can see that in the middle of the word Wang, there is an invisible gap between the horizontal and vertical intersection. If it wasn't for Yunwu, I'm afraid I couldn't find it at all. Long Qingxie smiles and hugs his hand on Yunwu's waist. The evil spirit says, "The little thing is so smart. It's the same as what I think." Cloud Dance pick eyebrow, take out a long silver needle from the space of carry on, toward that king character in the middle. With the deepening of the silver needle, a strong shock appeared in the cave. On one side of the mountain wall, a stone door slowly opened. The white light blooms from behind the stone gate. With the opening of the stone gate, it sets off the whole cave. Yunwu takes back the silver needle, and they retreat one after another, waiting for the stone door to open. Finally, when the stone gate was completely opened, they looked at the stone gate with shocked eyes. The soft white light fills the world behind the stone gate. The white without any impurities seems to be extremely rich in energy, and the fog with life is flowing continuously. It is clearly white, but it is not dazzling in the dark cave. Both saw shock in each other's eyes. A moment later, the white light suddenly flows out from below. Like a pool, a white stream flows to Yunwu and Yunwu, paving a path in front of them. On the path, the bright self appeared in it, and Yunwu clearly saw the upper boundary written on it. This is the way to the upper world? Cloud Dance looked at all this in amazement. Some didn't believe it. Dragon Qingxie tightly hugged Yunwu's hand, and a touch of evil spirit came out of the corner of his mouth. I didn't expect that the road that I couldn't find appeared in front of us. In this way, it can explain why the people of the 10,000 beasts want to occupy the Phoenix clan. I think they also want to find this way. Cloud Dance at this time has recovered from surprise, heard the dragon pour evil words, can't help nodding, said, "Look at their appearance should not be found, otherwise also won't stay here so long." Well, Long Qingxie nodded, looked at the road in front of him and said, "This road looks so easy to find. If there are people who can feel it, I'm afraid it will be exposed sooner or later. Not only that, the Phoenix family has occupied here for a long time, and it is inevitable that they will not find it. Cloud Dance frowned and said, and then suddenly thought of something, turned to see the dragon Qingxie. Why don't we seal here for the time being? Long Qingxie's eyebrows were picked, and he shaved Yunwu's nose with a smile. He said, it's the same as what I think. They agreed, and then went to the 6 words as before, but this time it was not Wang. Cloud Dance 2 people carefully will see all over. Finally the silver needle inserted in the top of a point, the stone door slowly closed, the cave again into darkness. Let's go. Long Qingxie took a last look and walked out with Yunwu. When he got to the outside passage, Long Qingxie waited for a moment, released the most difficult one in his array, and blocked the passage. With this array, there must be no one in the whole Phoenix world who can destroy it except him. Another one was set at the fork. When they returned to the back hall again, the whole passage had been set up 3 ancient arrays by Dragon Qingxie. Each of the 3 arrays was different, but they were all the same. Looking at his masterpiece, Long Qingxie nodded with satisfaction, hugged the Cloud Dance around him and said, don't worry, the array I set is not so easy to break. Let's go. The battle outside should be almost over. In the mountain palace, more and more Phoenix joined the battle of Shangguanli. But it's only occasionally to help. There are more people around Shangguanli. The size of Phoenix is so huge that it's hard to avoid mutual influence when we go forward together. In this way, it's better for several powerful people to pester each other, and others are just helping each other. Shangguan gets close to Shangguanli's body and deals with his father. He clearly knows where the other party's weakness is. The smell of darkness entangled together, no one let who, for a moment, it was difficult to separate the fight, surrounded by the black fog cannot tell who. Shangguan was furious, and at the same time, he was shocked that his child's strength had reached this point. Although there are other people's help, but compared with the past is very different. The people who attacked together made Shangguan feel unprecedented pressure. When dealing with Shangguan, they also felt constrained. These people cooperated very well. Once they had a place to relax, someone would immediately seize this loophole and attack him fiercely. He didn't dare to live lightly for fear that he might fall into the inferior position. At that time, no matter who can give him a fatal attack. Shangguanli, trapped in the scuffle, no longer has the heart to worry about the battle in the mountain palace. Until a cold voice resounded through the sky, and it seemed to come directly from his ear. The Beast Gate has been defeated. Even if you win, you are just a bear commander. What's the use? Cloud Dance stands in the air, fighting side by side with Dragon, looking down at the battle below. Shangguan looked up and saw that the 2 Yunwu and Longqingxi who he had been trying to kill were standing there with incomparable prestige. Compared with them, he is like a lost dog, lost all the support. Damn it, at this time, taking advantage of the gap of Shangguanli's surprise, a very fast black arrow feather flew directly towards Shangguanli and directly into his body. Into a black fog into his body. Shangguanli trembled all over, Poof Chi, spat out a mouthful of blood, turned his head, with a trace of unbelievable Shangguan. Son of a bitch! How dare you! Shangguan slowly took back his hand, quickly covered up a trace of undercurrent in the bottom of his eyes, squinted at Shangguanli and said, don't you know that long ago? That arrow feather was specially condensed by him. Once it hit the body, it would directly penetrate into the body and destroy it. However, Shangguan also knew that with his father's strength, his arrow feather would not kill him. Moreover, his own strength is the same as his. Naturally, the effect of this attack should be discounted. The other side can refine that strength without much effort. But now he is in the encirclement, there is no way to calm down and refine. Thinking of what Yunwu said before the war, Shangguan narrowed his eyes slightly. Shangguanli's strength is too strong. If he is killed by force, it will cause a counterattack, and our casualties will be heavy. It's better to stop just to let him leave the Phoenix world. There will always be a time when he will be destroyed. Cloud Dance is right. If you fight hard again, I'm afraid Shangguanli will really show his cards. Although so many people are really not afraid to fight, there will be some troubles in the end. It's better to wait. Therefore, although this attack can hurt him, it is not fatal. Good, good, good. Shangguan was shocked by his attack. He recalled what Yunwu had just said. There are more than 10 Phoenix experts around him. Even if he wants to do something, he can't make a big storm. On the contrary, the gain is not worth the loss. Looking around again, I saw that the people of the 10,000 Beast Gate were so insignificant in the Phoenix group. The corpses of the 10,000 Beast Gate fell from the air and spread on the ground. Compared with those dead disciples, the number of Fenghuang people falling is really too small. Shangguan clenched his fists and looked at the scene in front of him. He was not willing to do so. His business had been destroyed for many days. Don't be too happy. If I can occupy here once, I can have a second time. Shangguan looked at the fiery red phoenix flying in the air and said coldly, "Today, even if you take back the mountain palace, I will occupy it again in the future. One day, you Phoenix people will be affiliated to our Beast Gate." Ouch! Feng Huang looked up at the sky and roared, with a very strong anger in her voice. If it was not for the presence of others, reminding her to be rational, I'm afraid she would rush up and fight with Shangguan fiercely. Shangguan directly ignored her anger, turned his head and looked at the cloud above coldly and said again, "As for you, you can't escape the pursuit of the Beast Gate. I'll let you know the power of the Beast Gate." Then, in full view of the public, a mass of black fog suddenly emerged, which wrapped Shangguan tightly. But a few seconds, the black fog dispersed, Shangguan figure directly disappeared in front of the crowd. "Shit! The old man even ignored his own men?" Meng Bai muttered, and instantly reminded everyone. There are still many beast men in the mountain palace. Although the boss has run away, the rest of the soldiers can't be forgiven. These people don't know how many bad things they have done, and today they are all cleaned up. Yunwu nodded to Fenghuang. Fenghuang understood and flapped her wings. The huge body of Fenghuang soared towards the mountain palace. She circled around the mountain palace, and the high voice of Feng Ming resounded from every corner. Ouch! It seems to have received the guidance of Fenghuang. All the Fenghuang in the mountain palace raise their heads and send out Feng Ming to the air. They should be with Fenghuang. Oh ha! Soon, the invincible Phoenix clan was even more fierce. Before long, he killed the remaining 10,000 beast men and ran away. Yunwu turned to Fenghuang, who had already turned into a human, and said in a light way, "The people of the beast sect are mean and don't do anything good at ordinary times. If you leave one or two here today, I'm afraid it will harm people in the future. Remember to kill them all." Fenghuang experienced the war just now. Her heart is still excited at this time. After hearing Yunwu's words, he could not help nodding and said, "Don't worry, I've told you to go down, and I won't let go of any one of the 10,000 beast men." Yunwu nodded with satisfaction and looked up in another direction. "The battle in the mountain palace is over, but I don't know what's going on there, Miss Yun." Fenghuang suddenly opened her mouth and called Cloud Dance, and the words were full of respect. Cloud Dance Alang, turn head to look at her, signal her to continue to say, "I have launched a race challenge against the Dark Beast this time." Fenghuang slightly frowned, some indecisive said, "This time I won't do it." Cloud Dance suddenly said coldly, "Why? I'm just helping you deal with the Beast Gate. As for the resentment between the Phoenix clan and the Dark Beast, it's not something we human beings can intervene in. Moreover, in today's situation, you are the saint of the Phoenix, and Little Stink is your guardian beast of the Phoenix. You need this battle to rebuild your prestige. If you need my help in everything." The following words Cloud Dance didn't continue to say, but Fenghuang already understood. "Don't forget, you are the saint of the Phoenix family." Cloud Dance finally explained, then turned round to look for Dragon to pour evil. Fenghuang trembled all over her body, as if she had been awakened by the Cloud Dance for a moment. Yes, she is the saint of Phoenix. Even in the face of being chased and killed at the beginning, she never gave up. However, Yunwu has been helping the Phoenix clan all this time, which makes her have the psychology of dependence. Even the race challenge makes her want to tell her. For a moment, Feng Wangnu only felt a cold sweat coming from her back. Fortunately, Yunwu was rational enough to remind her in time, otherwise she would not be able to do it. Come on, let's go to see little Stink. We don't know what happened to that guy. Cloud Dance walks to the dragon to pour evil nearby and says to several people of upper official. Shangguan bowed his head in silence. Surprisingly, he didn't raise his head as before. He didn't know what he was thinking. Only when Sido Lan came forward and patted him did he react fiercely. He pulled a smile on his face and said, Okay, go and see the record over there. After that, he turned around and left first. Looking at Shangguan's back, they all felt inexplicable, but Yunwu was thoughtful. It seems that Shangguan hesitated because of his father's attack, right? Yunwu, who was thinking about it, suddenly felt that the people around him held him in his arms. Then he thought of a low magnetic voice. Don't worry, Shangguan will figure it out. Yunwu nodded and then followed up with the others. On the hillside, the gorgeous sky has already turned into a spark of fire, just like before the battle. But now on the hillside, a large number of corpses of 10,000 beast men lie on the hillside as traces of fighting. Xiao Stink's swaggering body soars in the air, and the sound of Feng Ming shows his happiness and excitement. Below, the Phoenix people in human form are cheering and celebrating this victory. Well, Mama is coming. Xiao Stinky's body soared suddenly, looked up to the east, and then immediately turned into a human shape, rushed to the past. Mama, before Cloud Dance's figure fell, he saw a streamer rushing towards him. Knowing that it was a little Stink, he opened his hand and wanted to take him. Clinker, just ready to embrace posture, small Stinky body just rushed over, a big hand directly from the side, a hug her waist. The next second, Cloud Dance will be brought into a strong arms. Little Stinky threw himself into the air. He almost fell down with too much force. After trying to stand firm, he turned his head and glared at the Cloud Dancing dragon. His eyes almost burst into fire. Don't let me warn you again. Pay attention to the difference between men and women. Long Qingxia's voice came coldly, and his eyes were not good at looking at Xiao Chou. Seems to be thinking about how to get the other side to get rid of this problem. How can you compete with me? Little Stinky stares and looks at the dragon fiercely. But this expression does not match his present appearance. He looks like a tall teenager, but his words are childish. All right. Cloud Dance's headache came out to stop him, and he declared his belonging in the arms of Long Qingxia. Now the beast gate has been solved, and our work has been completed. But your task is not finished. Cloud Dance fingers, pointing to the small Stink said. Little Smelly was stunned, then turned his mouth and said, I know, I'm the pure blood demon Huang of the Phoenix family. Naturally, I want to contribute to the family. I will challenge the dark beast. Cloud Dance nodded with satisfaction. Unexpectedly, with the intelligence of little Stinky, she could think of this. It seems that she has become more intelligent. Several people stood together, talking and laughing for a long time, seemed to be immersed in the joy of victory. But I didn't notice that there were many Feng Huang people on one side. Many of them were just like they wanted to talk, but because of their special identity, they didn't dare to interrupt. Now see Cloud Dance and other people's dialogue is finally over. Finally someone nervous rubbed hands, came up. Your Highness, there is the mountain palace. Yunwu turns to see a man waiting for her answer with red face and rubbing hands. His eyes are full of expectation and excitement. In fact, I have guessed the result for a long time, but I must hear them say it in person to let go. Cloud Dance lightly a smile, say, we won, Mountain Palace took back. Yeah, great. We have a home. Our home is back. We've completely driven out the beast gate. The excited voice takes the position of Cloud Dance as the center, with huge rendering power, and the excited voice resounds through the whole world. If people just died and were immersed in the joy of victory, now they are really happy. Their home is back and everything belongs to them is back. Thank you very much, Your Highness. Some people bowed 90 degrees in front of Yunwu again. They all knew that if not for the advice of the priesthood, how could they defeat the Beast Gate with so little fighting power? The mountain palace has been recaptured, and now things here are over. Go back as soon as possible and discuss the next step. Cloud Dance is not used to be so grateful, face calm, but said to get rid of the words. Your Highness, please. People of the Phoenix family have long thought so. As soon as they heard Yunwu say so, they immediately respectfully said that they let Yunwu walk in front of the crowd to show respect. Yunwu walked in front with a few people impolitely and took the lead to fly towards the mountain palace. Behind him, a group of phoenix directly incarnated into the original shape, and the gorgeous brilliance lit up the whole sky. In the east, the sun slowly rises. This dawn symbolizes the light. After fighting all night, the people returned to the mountain palace at dawn, and the Phoenix family finally returned to their home. And Cloud Dance, a few people also arranged residence respectively, treat with the treatment of guest of honor. Yunwu didn't feel much about it. He just went to the residence and went to sleep. The gate of the mountain palace is tightly closed. People who have been tired all night fall asleep. When they wake up, they still have a lot to do. I don't know if it's too much energy consumption. When Yunwu opened her eyes, it was the early morning of the next day. Yunwu was surprised that she had slept all day and night. I don't know if it's the reason why I haven't slept so comfortably for a long time. Yunwu gets out of bed and feels much better. Taking advantage of the sun has not yet risen, simply directly in the room to practice up. When the sun rises, the mountain palace is slowly waking up. People who had enough rest began to clean up the aftermath of the war. Of course, this is not the Cloud Dance to worry about. Only when she went to the main hall of the Phoenix clan, she saw that Feng Wengnu was commanding the people to deal with everything in an orderly way, even the corpses of the 10,000 beasts. The former Feng Wengnu, who directed the country, once again showed her charm. See Cloud Dance come over, Feng Wengnu, even busy too late to speak, nodded to her, hand work and speed up a few minutes. Yunwu found a seat at random and sat down. Before long, other people came one after another. Ma. As soon as Xiaoqiu entered the door, he wanted to rush in, but his own mother was here. With the help of Long Qingxie, he finally turned away and sat down. By the time the Virgin Commander finished, an hour had passed. I'm sorry to neglect. There are too many things to pile up. Feng Wengnu smiles and waves to let irrelevant people all retreat. When the door of the main hall was closed, he came down from the main seat and sat down beside Yunwu. I know. Yunwu nodded. After all, it's a big battle. It's inevitable. Fortunately, she has nothing to do, so she just waits here. 10,000 beast men are extremely cunning. Although the war is over, we must search every corner carefully. I believe that there must be 10,000 beast men in your mountain palace. Feng Wengnu hastily nodded. Wei, the priest says of good, I unexpectedly didn't think of. After that, he immediately called people in and ordered them to go out again. Your Highness, although you said that you would not interfere in the race struggle, I think I have to tell you about it. Feng Wengnu said with a smile. When Yunwu came out of the hall, he didn't go back to where he lived. On the contrary, he and Long Qingxie wandered in the mountain palace. Although the Beast Gate has been defeated, today's Phoenix clan is still shrouded in the air of darkness and death. There is no grass on the ground. There is a dark smell floating in the air, and the sky is black. Although there is a sun hanging in the air, it does not make people feel warm at all. In addition to the busy Phoenix people who come and go to add a bit of life here, otherwise, it's really like a hell among people. She knew in her heart that if she didn't defeat he, it would be the same situation for the Phoenix from now on. Although the evil beasts of darkness have perished, there is only he now. But now he is controlled by the Beast Gate and lost his memory, which is also a challenge between races. It's just that the relationship between Xiaoqiu and he is Cloud Dance bowed her head and walked in Dragon Qingxie's side without saying a word. The words that Feng Wengnu said just now appeared in her mind. 3 days later, race challenges. It's up to the Phoenix to guard the beast against the dark beast. Cloud Dance sighed, although said don't want to intervene, but in the heart still can't help but worry. As the guardian beast of the phoenix family, Xiao Xiaoqiu is also a pure-blood demon Huang. It is reasonable for him to fight on behalf of the phoenix family. However, she can clearly feel the strength of the dark beast. In addition, he is the father of Little Stink, but now he has lost his memory under the control of the Beast Gate. Can Little Stink be his opponent? At this moment, Yunwu is still worried. How could Long Qingxia not understand her mind? Looking at the side of the little woman frowning all the way thinking about the appearance, can't help but some heartache. Don't worry. You know that guy's blood. His skill is not simple. Don't worry about it. Cloud Dance Alung, look up to the dragon poor evil. How strange is the pure blood demon Huang. It may not be a single one for hundreds of years. If it's just a general skill, how can it be regarded as a guardian beast by the phoenix people who pay so much attention to inheritance? Long Qingxia narrowed his eyes and said, "What's more, that day you asked him to take people to stop the Dharma guards, but he was able to kill all the people of the beast sect in a short time. Just this kung fu, do you think it can be done with ordinary strength?" Cloud Dance tilted his head and looked at the dragon. He could not help but spread his frown, even a smile on the corner of his mouth. "You say that, I think it's true. So, you don't have to worry so much. At least, no one in the whole Phoenix clan is his opponent. He is the only one who represents the Phoenix clan." Yunwu takes a deep breath and tries to suppress the worry in her heart. Since it's no use worrying, try to believe him. However, this man seems to be a bit unfathomable. How many things does he have that she hasn't found? Time flies, and 3 days are fleeting. Yunwu and others waited at the gate of the hall early in the morning. Most of the people gathered here today are important figures in the Phoenix clan. If they were placed elsewhere, their identities would be different. But at this time, these people are neatly standing here, obediently waiting for the appearance of that person. Even after waiting for a long time, there is still no one to voice dissatisfaction. For a long time, the sun slowly rises, adding a little light to the world full of dead air, but the dark atmosphere in the air cannot be removed anyway. The figure of a young boy finally appeared in the eyes of the public, slowly and forcefully towards the public. At the moment when the young figure appeared, the Phoenix people standing around knelt down one after another and gave the figure a supreme gift. Yunwu and others stood aside, staggering the kneeling Phoenix people, silently looking at the figure coming. Small Stink all the way to Cloud Dance in front of, gently smile, said, "Don't worry, Hemp, I will win back." Fenghuang stood aside, her eyes could not stop worrying, but she had a trace of pride and expectation. This is her child and the representative of the whole Phoenix family. Saving the Phoenix family is his responsibility and obligation. Yunwu nodded faintly, trying to suppress the surging emotion in his heart. She believes Little Stink must be the winner. Little Stink then turned to Fenghuang and looked at her worried mother. With a grin, she reached forward and gave Fenghuang a big hug. "Mother, don't worry, I'll win." Fenghuang burst into tears and hugged the person in her arms. Yunwu turns her head and pretends not to see this scene. She is used to action and is not used to this kind of behavior. The inexplicable feeling in her heart also makes her very uncomfortable. After saying goodbye to everyone one by one, Little Stink directly incarnates in the prototype. The golden wings spread out, the beautiful feathers on the phoenix head were shining, the long phoenix tail pulled out a beautiful radiant, raised his head and roared to the sky, with incomparable prestige and nobility. This is the nobleness in the bones of the Phoenix family, and also the nobleness of his pure-blood demon Huang. The golden phoenix circled 3 times above the mountain palace, and the high voice of the phoenix spread to every corner. Then, it directly turned into a streamer and flew to the distance. "We follow," Cloud lightly said, and then the first to start, chasing the direction of the phoenix left. Behind him, a group of Fenghuang clansmen and friends followed one after another. Race challenge, how can we let the guardian beast go alone? They are his strongest backing. Whether they win or lose, they have to see with their own eyes. Phoenix's speed is extremely fast, but it took an hour to reach the challenging hillside, and there was a figure waiting on the hillside for a long time. The golden phoenix landed directly on the hillside and stood opposite the man. The two of them just face off. Although the dark beast lost his memory, others clearly remember what the relationship between them was. When Feng Wangnu saw the confrontation between them, she could not help frowning and looking at the man. Her eyes could not help showing some inexplicable feelings. If it wasn't for the Gate of Beasts, how could it be now? They are father and son. At the thought of this, Feng Wang would like to catch those people from the Beast Gate and kill them again. But now those people are dead, this hate can only be buried in my heart. I'm afraid that only the day when the Beast Gate is destroyed, this hate can disappear. Well, I came so late. I didn't think it was possible to win, so I didn't dare to come? The dark beast stares at the little stink opposite and says coldly. Looking at the little stink in front of him, the dark beast frowned. I don't know why. He always feels that little stink makes him feel very different, but he can't remember why. Maybe this is the so-called blood connection between father and son. On hearing this, Xiao Smelly put on a smelly face and said, I'm afraid of you? I don't know how you will be beaten down by me later. If you know what's interesting, you'd better surrender and be punished. I'll untie your memory, and you'll know how stupid you are doing now. Even though he knew that this man was his own father, such a father really made him unable to love. On hearing this, the dark beast narrowed his eyes dangerously. Beyond my ability, I want to see who beat whom down. After that, the black fog suddenly emerged, wrapped the human body, and then spread around, as if something terrible was gestating. When the fog dispersed, a huge and strange-looking warcraft appeared in front of the crowd. At the same time, there was a more intense dark atmosphere full of weather, as if his appearance made the atmosphere more than several times stronger. Little Stink snorted, and his body glittered with gold. Just like the dark beast, it directly turned into Numenon. The huge golden phoenix appears in the sky, which is totally different from the dark beast. The golden phoenix is very fast and light, shining with golden light, just like a god beast from heaven. However, the dark beast is strong and huge, and it has a ferocious atmosphere when it moves. It seems that one slap can subvert heaven and earth. Looking at such a gap, Feng Wang couldn't help worrying. The world's martial arts can't be broken fast. In this way, Little Stink has some advantages. The cold voice of Cloud Dance comes at the right time. Feng Wang was stunned. She turned her head and saw that the other side's line of sight was always on the battle, as if the sentence just now was just a comment on the battle. But in any case, my heart is indeed a little comfort. On the hillside, two huge warcraft flew directly into the sky. The dark beast is surrounded by fog, which is full of dead air. Inadvertently, a little fog appears on the surrounding hillside. The soil turns black instantly, and even the withered and yellow plants are directly corroded. Little Stink is not weak. The golden light seems to have a natural restraint on the black fog. Where the golden light shines, the black fog has no place to live. It can only retreat again and again, as if it had met heaven and earth. Little Stink is very fast. Every time the dark beast's attack falls down, he clearly sees the attack, but Little Stink's body flashes, leaving a golden shadow in the air. Several attacks of the dark beast didn't fall on him. Instead, the golden light was shining and turned into a sharp sword. With the sound of foaming, he stabbed the dark beast and scattered the black fog. He looked rather embarrassed. Seeing this scene, people watching the war from a distance were relieved at last. No matter how powerful the dark beast is, he has been imprisoned for a long time. In addition, one woman wants to control and seal his memory, which appropriately reduces his strength. At this time, he does not have the original strength, and this is the situation. Long Qingxie suddenly said with a smile. From the beginning, he had no doubt about the outcome of the battle. Cloud Dance Pick Eyebrow saw him. Originally this man, in the heart, had already measured. It's just that all the evil beasts in the dark have been destroyed, but he has survived. In the final analysis, there are some means. I'm afraid we can only know what they are. The people of the Phoenix family listened to the comments of these two people, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. In the distant sky, the battle entered a white-hot state in this process. The The two Warcraft like do not know tired general, short 2 hours then fight, do not know how many times. The Golden Phoenix finally suffered a little damage, but the relative Dark Beast was much more embarrassed. The place where the golden sword cut could not heal automatically. Until then, he realized that the Golden Phoenix in front of him was really his nemesis. Two colors of light entangle together, two kinds of breath collide, causing the energy in one side of the world to vibrate, as if the earthquake came, the roar of nature. This battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. The two men seemed to have no sense of exhaustion. They would not die if they could not tell the difference between them. Standing in the distance to watch the people, also staring at the front of the battle, no one said anything to disturb. The speed of Golden Phoenix seems to slow down, but compared with the Dark Beast, his speed is still an advantage. Damn it, the Dark Beast roared. I don't know how many times the Golden Phoenix has evaded the attack. The opponent seems to know that his strength is not as good as his own. So he just dodged and used the gap to hurt him. He had been fighting for 3 days and 3 nights. There were more and more wounds on his body, and the fog around him was thinner and thinner. However, in contrast to the Golden Phoenix, in addition to its slower speed, it has become more and more courageous. The number of attacks is increasing. Sometimes, it even has to leave damage on him even at the expense of taking the attack. At this time, if the Dark Beast keeps his hand, he will never see the sun tomorrow. At the moment, the huge body of the Dark Beast moved and retreated several steps backward. The pupil of Cloud Dance suddenly constricts, say suddenly, he will be angry. In a simple word, the Phoenix people's hearts suddenly raised, even more eyes blink also do not blink staring at the front of the battle to see, for fear of accidentally missing something. Little Smelly also saw the intention of the Dark Beast. Even if the other side deliberately distanced himself, he didn't stop him. Instead, he stood there with a pair of golden eyes staring at the Dark Beast, and the golden light around him was more gorgeous. I can see that the fog around the Dark Beast becomes more intense in a moment, just like when it turns into a prototype, wrapping its body, and the fog is still spreading. Then, when it diffuses to a certain point, the fog quickly recovers as if it had life. At the same time, it also recovers the dark death in the air. Cloud Dance and others stare big eyes, can't believe looking at everything in front of. Ooh! The dark breath gathered in front of the Dark Beast, forming a vortex, like a black hole, constantly sucking everything in heaven and earth. Everything that's sucked in doesn't know where it's going. Even Yunwu and others standing in the distance can feel the strong suction, quickly stabilize their body, so that they will not be sucked away by the suction. At this time, if the little stink is human, it must be frowning tightly. At this time, the Golden Phoenix is looking at the black hole with its head tilted. Its body is shining with golden light, and it seems to be thinking about what it is. Hoo-hoo, the suction is getting stronger and stronger, even the dust and trees on the ground are all sucked in. But the little stink opposite to the black hole was still motionless, only the wings flapping constantly, which showed that he was still at ease. After watching the black hole for a long time, the little stink suddenly brightened up. For a moment, he was in full bloom, if he was just wrapped by the golden light. In this second, he was like a slowly rising sun. The light on his body was enough to illuminate all things. Even the dark sky was driven back a lot of darkness under the golden light. It's something that even the sun didn't do. Little Stinky's wings beat faster and faster, but his body shape was still fixed in that place, neither forward nor backward, between the golden bloom. Ouch! The little stink roared up to the sky, and the sound of foaming spread to every inch of the land in the Phoenix world. The Dark Beast was shocked and quickly increased its suction. Until the power in the air seemed to be drained, the powerful suction stopped abruptly. The black hole, which absorbed a lot of power, shrank slowly and finally formed a black energy ball, crystal clear black, giving people a strange feeling. The Dark Beast looked coldly at the little stink wrapped in a piece of golden light. The next moment, the beast claw a lift, the black ball directly toward the small stink hit. No, the Phoenix girl cried with blood, just like the cuckoo crying blood. She turned into a prototype and wanted to rush up. The Virgin is in danger. Don't go there. The elder of the Phoenix clan came forward to stop him. The high voice of Feng Ming, with unprecedented sadness, resounds through the world. The little stink, which was covered by the golden light, but without any cowardice, directly hit the black ball. The moment they collided, it exploded. Like a natural disaster, the whole land of the Phoenix world vibrated violently. Even Yunwu and others in the center of deep vibration can hardly stand. And the Fengwing who wanted to rush up was also stopped by the elders. At this time, a group of people stood together. Yunwu put up a protective cover to protect everyone, looking at the front coldly. At the center of the explosion, a burst of dust flew up. At this moment, all the things sucked in by the black hole spewed out. The dark death gas in the air that had just been sucked away was restored at this moment. It's so gray that we can't see the war situation clearly. The dust is flying outside the shield. Just looking at it, you can feel how powerful the energy is. Yunwu clenched her teeth and supported the shield. Suddenly, she felt the pressure decreased instantly and looked up. I saw another layer of protective cover directly shrouded in their own protective cover, will protect everyone inside. Behind him, Long Qingxie had no choice but to look evil. Little thing, it's not good to be so brave. Finally, the dust slowly dispersed, the two huge figures disappeared, and the whole battle slope was directly flattened. On the flat ground, the figure of an adult man appeared in it. This is Did you lose? Fengwing stares at the explosion center and eagerly looks for her child. But I didn't find anything. Finally, I uttered this sentence in despair. Lost. The elders of the Phoenix clan also looked there. For a moment, I didn't know what to do. Even the shield disappeared and the wind blew on my face. Yunwu held his fist tightly and stared at the war situation in front of him. He could hardly believe what he saw. It's obvious that life wants to see people and death wants to see corpses, but now why can't you even see his figure? After all what happened? How dare a little phoenix challenge me? The dark beast stood on the hillside and looked up coldly at the place where Xiaoqiu was just now. He tried to suppress his sadness. A sneer came from the corner of his mouth. Do you think that with your golden light, I can stop the blow of swallowing the sky and spitting the earth? What a delusion! Fenghuang stood in the distance, trembling all over. Her eyes were red and pointed to the dark beast in the distance. Even her voice was trembling. You killed your own child. Unfortunately, she was too far away, and her weak body needed the support of the people to be able to barely stand firm. She wanted to go forward to question, but in any case, she could not move. Yunwu frowned, and everyone around her was immersed in sadness, but she was calm after a short surprise. How could you die? He is a pure-blood demon Huang, and the unique perception between his heart and Xiaoqiu has not been broken because of the contract, so Xiaoqiu is still alive, just can't see him for the moment. But where is it? Cloud Dance squints her eyes and looks for him carefully. The dragon around her looks at him, and the evil spirit in the corner of her mouth starts. Obviously, he saw better than anyone else. Standing on the hillside for a long time, the dark beast suddenly turned his head and squinted at the people nearby. A cruel smile came from the corner of his mouth. Phoenix, this is the end. The next second, the dark beast step by step toward the direction of the people came. The black fog around the whole body makes the dead air in the sky more intense. Fenghuang trembled and couldn't speak. She felt heartache and wanted to die like this. The pain of killing one's own son by the one you love is beyond others' understanding, but just then. Who allowed you to touch them? The cold voice suddenly rang out. The dark beast turned back fiercely. I saw just now empty air, suddenly appeared a pinch of small flames. In this dark environment is extremely dazzling. Yunwu was relieved. He didn't die. Fenghuang trembled all over her body. She couldn't believe it. She looked at the fire that suddenly appeared. She was drowned in ecstasy for a moment. Child, my child is not dead. Is he okay? Like, don't believe this thing in general. Fenghuang excited clenched the people around the arm. As if afraid that all this is just a dream, the moment before also immersed in pain, this moment will be a huge surprise submerged. The dark beast stares at the sudden fire, Cold eyes flash a surprise, also can't believe it. I saw that the red flame color is very pure, like blood in the air, without any strength support. There is no medium to burn, as if only the air can be burned. The air of darkness and death in the environment retreats one after another when it comes into contact with the red flame, just like meeting heaven and earth, leaving a large area of fresh air around the flame. The face of the dark beast sank. I can't see it. You're very difficult. Then, there is no doubt that the palm in front of the rapid changes, as with an ancient mark in general, a strong dark breath suddenly emerged, toward the fire mercilessly pressure passed. As soon as the breath of black came into contact with the red, it was like a heaven-swallowing warcraft, directly swallowing the red. Chirp. In the black fog, the red flame is like a boat in the ocean. It has no resistance, and can only rely on its own bitches to persevere. See this? Fengwing and others can't help but raise their heart to their throat. The dark beast frowned tightly. Although there was no reaction to the red, he could clearly feel that his attack had no effect on the red. What's going on? The dark beast's eyes narrowed slightly. The next moment, increased the attack again, more violent black energy toward the red package, desperately want to devour it. All of a sudden, everyone exclaimed, "Zizi!" I saw that just now or faint beat of the red flame suddenly burned up. The beating range is increasing, and the wrapped black fog, on the contrary, seems to increase the nutrients for it, which constantly raises the red flame. The black fog, which seemed to be in a state of suppression, began to beat restlessly at this moment, as if it was alive, and it was biting the red. And red is not willing to let it go. All the black near itself are burned. The hot high temperature seems to be able to burn everything, such as blood. General red finally swept the vast sky. As soon as the dark beast's eyes sank, he knew that he could not fight against it, so he quickly wanted to withdraw the fog back. But the next moment, the red flame, as if conscious, suddenly expanded its scope, enveloping the fog that it wanted to withdraw. In an instant, the situation became anti-killing. The black fog seemed to be running for his life, but the red flame did not let go. Everyone seemed to hear the sad cry of the black fog, and lost all the resistance under the pursuit of the red flame. The natural power of the natural red flame is not small. Occasionally, the escaping fog is also stained with sparks, and then burned by the flame. The red flame grew bigger and bigger, and eventually formed a sea of fire, and the black fog died in the sea of fire, turned into its nutrients. Red as blood, reflecting the whole sky red. In the sky above the sea of fire, the long-standing dark air of death was burned out. The dark beast was so surprised that he quickly stepped back for fear that he might be infected with the fire. The flame is too fierce. If it gets infected, it will die in the sea of fire in the next moment. The sea of fire continues to expand, and when it expands to a certain extent, it finally stops expanding. Burning flame, suddenly came out a loud foaming, breaking through the sky. This is Phoenix Nirvana, rebirth, break, and then stand. Cloud Dance opened her eyes and looked at all this, with a shock rarely seen in the past. Originally thought that when she turned into pure blood demon Huang, Small Stink was already Nirvana, but did not expect that the original pure blood demon Huang could Nirvana again in extreme danger. This scene also let the present people are surprised to tremble. How could it be? The dark beast widened his eyes and looked at all this strangely, almost shouting. It's clear that he just killed the phoenix with that blow. Why is it more severe than before when he appears again? The golden phoenix sets off the red light of fire. After that loud and clear sound, it spreads its wings and soars from the sea of fire, flying towards the air with the momentum of skyrocketing. Compared with before, the golden phoenix in Xiangzai is bigger. The beautiful phoenix tail drags out the arc of taste, leaving traces in the air for a long time as popular. Even the golden light on the body is more dazzling than before. With the fiery red light, it shakes everyone's heart. The golden phoenix soars around and suddenly rushes into the sea of fire again. Then, the people saw that the burning fire on the hand of the dark beast suddenly and slowly became smaller, and finally revealed the phoenix figure hidden in it. They polished their eyes and looked at it carefully. They saw that the phoenix was opening a mouth, swallowing all the flames into his stomach. The red flame, which had been unable to resist the black fog, was swallowed into the stomach of the phoenix. However, looking at the appearance of the phoenix, I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. At this moment, the heart of the dark beast has been stained with a sense of defeat. But the pride of that race does not allow him to fail. No matter whether he can fight, he will fight. Ouch! The red sea of fire was finally engulfed, and the golden phoenix roared up to the sky. Then, a pair of beast eyes looked at the figure standing on one side, eyes calm, but with a sense of superior. It seems that after experiencing the nirvana just now, it has become more calm. For a moment, the dark beast felt that he was no longer facing the phoenix he hated, but his own emperor. In front of him, he had no resistance. But the fight continued, and the feeling lasted only a moment. Ouch! Then the golden phoenix flew into the sky. The next moment, the whole body of the golden light, a faint red. The dark beast was surprised, which reflected that he was still fighting. He quickly picked up the black energy and wrapped himself up. A huge roar burst out of the air. I saw that the evil beast of darkness appeared again in front of the public. Just this time, as soon as the body appeared, the golden phoenix opened the mouth of the beast in his direction. A group of fiery red flames, like blood, spat out directly and rushed to the dark beast with extremely fierce momentum. The dark beast was caught off guard. Knowing the strength of the flame, he summoned a lot of black energy and formed energy barriers in front of him to protect himself. At the same time, he kept retreating, and his huge body stepped on the ground, causing a burst of collapse every time. Good, strong. Yes, yes. Everyone opened their eyes to see all this, and all their hearts were raised to their voices. Success or failure depends on this. The bright red flame with a fierce momentum hit the black energy cover, and there was no other cold attack. At the moment of contact, it suddenly turned into a sea of fire, burning the black energy cover directly. What can't burn a flame that can be ignited by air? See this scene, Cloud dance eyebrow a pick. The first time Proud whispered, did not expect, small stink has evolved to such a strong point. The dragon leans evil spirit to smile, stretch out hand upstairs her thin waist. My woman is very special, how can her contract beast be vulgar? Don't you think so? Little thing. Smell speech, Cloud dance helplessly glanced at the man nearby one eye. However, the bottom of my heart because of his words, and some joy. In any case, she will not allow her partner to be hurt. Of course, she is happy that little stink has evolved like this. That side. The dark beast knows this in his heart, but he can hardly think of what he can do except to resist. He can only erect the energy shield again and again. Once it slows down a little, the flame will burn to his body. One by one, all the defenses were burned by the fire, and the color of the fire was more bright red. The golden phoenix followed, flying leisurely in the air everywhere, adding a fire from time to time, forming a sharp contrast with the dark beast in distress. The sound of the phoenix was extremely loud, even a little happy. Damn it! Don't be too arrogant. The roar spread, and the dark beast released another black energy. Just this time, just released, suddenly there was a large red in front of him, directly burning the energy he just released. Then, large red flames came to him and devoured him mercilessly, just as the previous explosion devoured the golden phoenix. This time, it was the huge body of the dark beast that was engulfed. See only, that huge body seems to have no resistance to the red flame. But in a moment he swallowed up the huge body. The phoenix girl in the distance closed her eyes and couldn't bear to see this scene. It's a race challenge. It doesn't stop. As the saint of the Phoenix clan, she should not stand on the side of the dark beast, but at this time of this kind of ending, she is doomed to be unable to watch their father and son fratricidal, and he can do nothing in the side. Under the control of the golden phoenix, the flame shrank a little, but the huge body of the dark beast could not be seen. While waiting for people cannot help but eyes a bright, in addition to Fenghuang, all people cannot help but issued a strong cheering. We won. Great. The dark beast is dead. It's worthy of being the pure blood demon Huang of our Phoenix clan. He was defeated as expected. Excited voice resounded in this world. Only the corner of Feng Huang's mouth showed a wry smile. After all, we have come to this stage. The flame finally shrank, but the golden phoenix did not turn into a human. The mouth of the beast opened, and the last bit of flame was sucked into the mouth of the beast. And in the fire, a black figure appeared in front of the crowd. His hair was scattered, his clothes were broken, and his face was dusty, as if he had been seriously injured. At the moment when the flame was removed, the man looked up at the phoenix in the sky, his lips moved slightly, his hoarse voice issued the syllable of child, and then he fell to the ground heavily. The Feng Huang people who were cheering just now were all stunned at this moment. They didn't know what was going on. Was it the flame that didn't work for him? But the golden phoenix in the sky understood the shape of his mouth and clearly knew what was going on. Also saw the dark evil beast mouth type is Feng Huang knew. At this moment, she finally can't bear, pushed away the people who stopped her, directly rushed up. Saint, the Virgin is in danger. Don't go there. That's a dark beast. A voice of obstruction rings out, and the elders all want to reach out and stop Feng Huang. But no one succeeded, and even someone chased up, but after a distance, they stopped abruptly. They didn't have the courage to face the dark beast. Cloud Dance, a corner of the mouth hook, softly said, "Go, let's go to have a look." After that, take the lead to fly in the direction of Small Stink. Behind him, the dragon's evil nature did not need to say, directly followed up. As for Shangguan, she can trust Yunwu completely. Since she can easily decide to go in the past, it shows that the dark beast is not afraid. They can be very assured of Cloud Dance, so one by one toward the other. Feng Huang's figure fell directly on the side of the dark beast. Looking at the dark beast lying on the ground, she felt a twinkling of heartache. Behind him, the figure of Cloud Dance also fell down one after another. Just for their convenience, I didn't go forward, just looked at it from a distance. Feng Huangvin doesn't care, slowly goes forward, squats down beside the man. Feel the man's weak breath, not from the heart of a sigh of relief. Fortunately, although seriously injured, but with the ability of the dark beast, it is not a trouble to repair. Do you remember me? The corner of Feng Huang's mouth showed a smile, raised her hand to trim her hair for the man on the ground, and her eyes showed inexplicable feelings. You've forgotten me for a long time, and I thought you'd never remember again. You forget not only me, but our children, but just now I saw you call him, so you must remember me, right? Feng Huang said sincerely that she didn't have any taboo about being a saint but with the dark people. At this time, what else does she need to avoid? The golden phoenix falls from the sky and turns into a human shape at the moment of landing. This time, surprisingly, he didn't rush to the clouds. Instead, he slowly went to Feng Huang and the dark beast. Until he walked in, a few people were surprised to find that the little stink had grown higher. At this time, he is like an 18-year-old young man, with beautiful features. Even the expression on his face has become more mature. He is no longer the young man who has grown tall and has no intelligence. Cloud Dance, a few people didn't make a sound to disturb, so quietly stand by and watch their family reunion. However, there are some things they have to ask, such as how does little Stink get his memory back? Don't worry, he's okay, just a little hurt. Little Stink squatted down beside Feng Huang and said awkwardly, "Although it's a pleasure to defeat the dark beast, little Stinky is proud to think that he is beating his own father. And this father has never recognized him, so now he will not take the initiative to call him." Phoenix Woman listened to the words in her ears and nodded. Until then, seeing the crowd around, those Phoenix people who followed finally felt safe and ran to see what happened. He's not dead yet? What? Is the dark beast still alive? How is that going to work? Saint, kill him now, or you will do evil in the future. It's a disaster for the Phoenix family. Yes, Saint, let's do it quickly. For a moment, everyone around him looked worried. Although the dark beast is lying on the ground now, they are still afraid that the other party will stand up and beat them unprepared. They will not be able to live in peace without hearing the news of the other party's death. Little Stinky frowned, and a touch of displeasure flashed across his face. How could his father be killed when others say it? At the moment, he wanted to stand up and attack, but was stopped by Feng Huangfu. Feng Huangfu stood up, cold eyes swept people's faces. Those people finally shut up, waiting for Feng Huangfu to give them a reasonable explanation. Feng Huangfu sighed in her heart. She knew that the evil beasts of the dark had done a lot of evil and had a great influence on her people, but that's not his original intention. When we were together, we said that we would not hurt the Phoenix people. This period of time, it was also because of the people of the 10,000 Beast sect. But how do you say these words to your own people? As the Saint of Phoenix, how can she speak for her enemies? Feng Huangfu was sad in her heart, but she had to make a cold appearance on her face. When I knew that I was talking for the Dark Beast, I suddenly had a plan in my heart. The healing ability of the Dark Clan is very strong, and don't forget that he is a holy beast in the Dark Beast clan. He can't be killed. Otherwise, the original priests would not seal him. Do you think we can kill him just by us? Cold voice rang, so that those excited Phoenix people suddenly realized this problem. Yes, in the heyday of the Phoenix clan, they just sealed him. Now the Phoenix clan is not as good as before. How can they kill him? But just now the fire power of the Golden Phoenix is clear to all. Is there no way to do it? For a moment, people all cast their eyes on Xiaoqiu. Feeling the sight of the crowd, little Stink couldn't help but curl his mouth. That's his father. How could he kill him? But I also knew that it was impossible to say this, so I nodded and said, "My flame can't kill him. You don't have to look at me. Didn't you see it just now? Even if he is engulfed by the fire, it's just that he doesn't show himself." Listening to this, the elders of the Phoenix clan couldn't help but feel lost. They also know the identity of Little Stink and the Dark Beast, but just now we all believe what Little Stink said. Not so much. Feng Huangfu said again, "Please take him back, shut him up in the clan, step up the care, find a way in the future, and then make a further decision." The elders looked at each other. Would it be too risky to take such a dangerous person back? Saint, this where are you going to take it back? Are you not afraid of? The following words didn't go on, but everyone present knew what it meant. Feng Huangfu frowned and said, "If you don't take it back, will you let him heal outside? What's more, he has to take back the dark air of death in the Phoenix clan. Take the Hui people to look after them carefully, and we'll find a way as soon as possible." After listening to Feng Huangfu's words, they nodded. Cloud Dance and others have been standing by and watching, without the slightest intention to intervene. After all, it's a family affair. Although it's in the name of a high priest, Yunwu is just a human. Although the Phoenix family turned to her as a priest when they were in trouble, they were not really members of the Phoenix family after all. Therefore, it is not appropriate to intervene. Half a ring. When they had discussed it, Yunwu turned around and went back with them. The battle lasted 3 days and 3 nights. It was the 4th day when the people returned to Fengwangshan Palace. From afar, we can see the people of Fenghuang looking at each other from afar, waiting for their return. When the figure of Feng Huangfu and others appeared in the sight of the people, the cheering almost lifted the whole mountain palace out. Look, the Virgin is back. They are back safe and sound. So we won? They beat the Dark Beast? My God, I knew we would win. We are the Phoenix family. That's it. Thank God. Cheers resounded throughout the mountain palace. Feng Huangfu and others in the sky heard their voices from a distance. They could not help but feel some guilt. All the clansmen were waiting for them to defeat the Dark Beast, but she brought him back because of her selfishness, and she didn't know if the decision was right. Feng Huangfu didn't stay, so she flew directly to the main hall of the mountain palace. Several figures fall in the depth of the mountain palace. Feng Huangfu orders people to imprison the Dark Beast in an orderly way. Yunwu saw that the matter was over, so she turned to go back. "Mama, how am I doing today?" As soon as he turned around, a man's voice came from behind. It's clear that it's a cold voice, but when it comes to Cloud Dance, it's just like before. "I feel strange. However, little Smelly didn't feel it at all. Instead, she ran forward and held the sleeves of Yunwoo, waiting for praise. She felt uncomfortable with the other person's 18-year-old appearance. Long Qingxia quietly pulls out Yunwoo's sleeve from his opponent's hand and holds Yunwoo in his arms. Good performance. Your parents will praise you. The ruthless attack on the little stink. The dragon tilts evil spirit to hook the lips to smile, then turns to want to go, directly ignores the little stink behind staring at his eyes. Cloud Dance helplessly drags dragon to pour evil, raises an eye to look, discovers that the other party is also looking down at her with a face of deep feeling like water. The Cloud dances the corner of mouth slightly to smoke. What idea is this man making? However, without waiting for Yunwoo to speak, Long Qingxia turned his head to look at the little stink on his face and said, I have something to ask you. Little Stinky frowned and looked at the dragon who occupied him. His voice was not very good. What's the matter? How did you get him to remember? And are you sure his memory is restored? It won't be an accident if we bring it back like this? Small Stinka listen, direct hum ao jiao of say, you also too despise me. How can I not be sure what I do? Cloud Dance picked eyebrows, waiting for him to continue. My pure yang can burn everything, including the soul. Small Stink proud said, that time Nirvana, let me inadvertently understand the existence of pure yang, this will it into a means of attack. Although pure yang inflammation is severe, it can be controlled by me after I devour it. As high as I want it to be, it will be as high as I want it to be. So the last attack, though it seemed very powerful, didn't do him much damage under my control. On the contrary, he entered the body and burned the seal of blessing given by the beast gate, which made his memory recover. Well, am I smart? Said here, Small Stinky head, waiting for Cloud praise. Yunwoo nodded with a smile. Unexpectedly, it was a blessing in disguise. Cut, how powerful. Then you can't control your strength and make him faint? Long Qingxia said defiantly, without paying any attention to his means. Little Smelly face a red, quickly retort, what do you know? I want to make it more realistic. Otherwise, how could those old men let him go easily? Cloud Dance helplessly looking at the conversation between the two people, but the heart of the whole thing is clear. The Dark Beast was finally imprisoned in the prison of the Phoenix clan. With the restraint of the array, his strength was suppressed. Even if you wake up, you won't hurt the Fenghuang people. You sent the Fenghuang experts to suppress it. Externally, Feng Wangnu only said that when he woke up, she would let him take back the dark death of the Phoenix family. Using this excuse, she finally blocked Yuyu's mouth temporarily. Now the Beast Gate has been completely driven out of the Phoenix family. Today, we have defeated the Dark Beast. I believe that in the near future, the Phoenix family will return to its former glory. Feng Huang stood on the high platform, looked at the worshipping people below, and said in a loud voice. Although the Phoenix clan is still enveloped in the dark air, the evil beast of darkness is already in our hands. When he wakes up, he will immediately order him to take back the dark air. In a short time, you will not have to suffer any more. The saint is wise. After listening to Feng Huang's words, the masses below immediately cheered. After being enveloped in the dark for so long, they really missed the past days. Feng Huang looked at the people below with a smile, and only now did she say her decision. Now, in order to celebrate the Phoenix people's getting out of trouble, I decided to celebrate 3 days for the whole family. High voice resounded through the whole world. Feng Huang deliberately made a happy situation, but in her heart she thought carefully. 3 days may be enough for her to think of a good way. Yeah dash, the people of Phoenix don't know what the saint is thinking, but they are all cheered to hear such news. Among the crowd, the atmosphere of joy could almost put down the pressure of the dull darkness. After people, Feng Huang was also thinking about how to get a satisfactory result. Feng Wangnu felt that she needed to meet the Dark Beast. Late at night, Feng Huang went to Feng Huang's prison alone with the prepared pills. Open the door. Cold voice rang out in the prison. Feng Wangnu, a face of dignity to the prison guards, ordered. The guards looked at each other and looked at Feng Huang carefully. They all knew the relationship between Fengwing and the one inside, and they all hesitated. But after all, the saint is a saint, and Her Majesty is still there, so after repeated measurement, she opened the door. The blue light is shining. Although the prison door is open, the array is still there, and the suppression of strength still exists. In this way, even the dark beast can't do anything. You go out first. No one can come in without my order. Feng Huang female cold voice orders away. Yes, in the prison, the dark beast had already woken up, and was sitting in a corner, with his head down. He didn't know what he was thinking. At the foot and the top of the head are flashing blue light. Let him not play his strength, also let him walk out of the array range. Hearing the sound of the cell door opening, the dark beast raised his head. When I saw a cold face of Fenghuang walking towards me, her eyes flickered, her lips moved, and finally only 3 words were sent out. You're coming. Fenghuang nodded and came in. She took out a small porcelain bottle from her personal space and handed it over. This can make your injury recover faster. The dark beast didn't answer. Instead, he laughed. Aren't you afraid that my injury will recover and hurt your people? Fenghuang's eyes moved, and she couldn't help feeling distressed. Where does the man in front of you have the old prestige? Although the pride between the eyebrows is still there, but the tone of the speech is never. Obstinately throw the small porcelain bottle into each other's arms. Fenghuang also found a place on the ground and sat down. Even if all your injuries are recovered, you can't hurt my people. Don't forget, this is the prison of Phoenix. Fenghuang stared at the opposite wall and said coldly, besides, you promised me that you would never hurt the people of Fenghuang nationality? The dark beast was stunned, staring at the porcelain bottle on his hand, and couldn't help laughing bitterly. Do you think I have the ability to fulfill such a promise? Fenghuang was stunned and silent. The dark power in his body is not what he said, otherwise he would not hurt the Phoenix people. As long as the power in his body is still there, he will never be recognized by his own people. And their cross-racial love will not be accepted, even if their child is pure-blood demon Huang. You need to take back the dark chi of Phoenix. Even for this, you have to recover your body. Fenghuang finally moved out a reasonable excuse. Dark evil beast Lung, this just is to understand the heart of Fenghuang knew, but is to worry about him just. At the moment he didn't hesitate. He opened the porcelain bottle and took all the pills in it. I just felt that a pure force of medicine in my body slowly dispersed, and my body became more powerful in a moment, and the wound on my body was also nourished by pills. Just from these, we can see that the price of this pill is very expensive, but now it is given to the enemy of a race by Fenghuang. Why are you? The dark beast cried and laughed. Fenghuang bowed her head, shook her lips, and said, I chose to follow you, so I should have expected that there would be a day. In the days when you were sealed, I never betrayed you. Who knows, you were controlled by the beast gate. Think of the other party did not know their appearance. Fenghuang only feel a pain in the heart. At the beginning, I was willing to be sealed for you. This time is the same. You don't have to be embarrassed for me and the people, said the dark beast suddenly. Fenghuang was stunned. This made her think of the good time when they were together. Although it was short, it was the happiest day in her life. The dark beast didn't seem to see Fenghuang's expression, so he continued to talk. Since these days, I have done a lot of things to hurt your people, so even if I was sealed, I should, not to mention. I shouldn't have made that seal myself. So when I take back the dark air, you will seal me again. Fenghuang bit her lips and stood up from the ground. Without saying a word, she turned her head and walked out. Behind him, the dark beast stares at the figure who left. There is a touch of tenderness in his eyes, but he doesn't say anything in the end. The door of the prison closes and the light fades away. Keep an eye on him and let me know anything as soon as possible. Fenghuang coldly said to the 2 guards. In the room of cloud dance, Long Qingxie and others sit in it one after another. There was a big table on the table in front of us. A group of people were very happy to eat, as if they didn't see the ugly expression on Yunwu's face. These guys have to pull her to the carnival outside. If she doesn't go, They put the carnival in her room. It's too much. Hey, don't rob me. I want to roast myself. This is my rabbit leg. Shangguan pushes Situlan aside and protects his rabbit leg. At the same time also did not forget to turn his head to the side of the small stink said, "The fire is not too big, or baked out is not delicious." These people said they were interested in his pure arthritis and asked him to show his hand. What they didn't expect was the so-called show-off, is to give them barbecue. Ma. Small stink wrongly looking at Cloud dance. Think of let her make the decision for themselves. What are you doing here? Cloud dance gnashing teeth said. She had planned to practice well. It's rare that things have come to an end. She's not so busy. If she doesn't practice well, she's watching them eat barbecue. Xiao Wu, don't you eat with me? Recently, this Phoenix clan has been reveling. I can't see all kinds of delicious and funny things. It's a pity that you don't go to have a look. Shangguan put a mouthful of meat in his mouth and said vaguely. Yunwu frowned. What's good to see? She didn't come here to play. If she couldn't find what she was looking for, there was no need to go out. Anyway, there was no flower of rattan in those funny things outside. Xiao Wu, don't listen to his nonsense. We need to discuss the next thing with you. Sita Lanbai took a look at the officer and said, "It seems that Feng Wangnu is not interested in paying attention to us now. In recent days, we have been asking around. There is nothing you are looking for, so do we need to leave?" Smell speech, small stink quickly left things on hand, stood up in a hurry, said, "Where to go? I'm going too. I don't want to stay in the Phoenix family and face those old men." Cloud dance helplessly look at him, did not expect that this little guy has been toward the Phoenix family. To those elders what opinion is still so big, really revenge. The Phoenix clan is sure that we don't have what we are looking for. When the dark beast problem is solved, we will leave. Cloud dance said, "After all, in any case, we have to wait until he recognizes his parents." Cloud dance's corner of the mouth raised a smile, pointed to the small stink. 3 days passed quickly, and the days of celebration passed. Finally, on this day, Feng Wangnu sent someone to invite Yunwu and others who had been practicing in the room. They were invited directly to the main hall in the center of the mountain palace. In the past, it was a place for discussion. Outsiders didn't even have the qualification to enter, but today it is different. Your Highness. As soon as Feng Wangnu saw them coming in, she quickly stood up and wanted to meet them in person, while the elders standing on both sides also respectfully gave a small gift. Cloud dance eyebrows slightly pick. It seems that there are things need to come out of their own. This Phoenix family is really a lot of things. Your Highness, the 3-day celebration has passed. The dark beast in the prison has recovered from his injury. I think it can recover the dark spirit of the clan. Cloud dance looking at in front of this frown looking at his saint, in the heart also can't help but sigh. After all, she's Xiao Stink's parents. No matter how she looks at Xiao Stink's face, she can't let the 3 members of the family go down to different places. When the dark beast takes back the spirit of darkness, it's time to execute. As a priest, it's natural to take part in such a great event. Yunwu then stood up and said to the people behind him, "Let's go and have a look." Feng Wang's eyes flashed a touch of joy, and then immediately set out. But before we could start, several elders of the clan came in one after another. "Holy daughter, we are going to deal with the evil beast of darkness today. We are here to follow." Yes, it's a big event in the clan for so long. We must see it with our own eyes. Yes, we must see with our own eyes that the dark beast is sealed again, otherwise it will be hard to get rid of our hatred. One voice came out, all of which expressed the hatred of the dark beast. Yunfei looks at Feng Wang and sees that her face is more and more ugly, but after all, she can't find a suitable reason not to let them go, so she has to agree. A group of people set out towards the prison. Cloud dance, several people walk in the last. Shangguan came to Yunwu and whispered, "It seems that it's very difficult for the saint to save her sweetheart." Small stinky step meal, pursed lips, coldly said, "I don't care, if I and Daddy recognize each other, then none of these people can stop me." Shangguan picked eyebrow, surprised to see a small stink. "Tut tut, Rare to hear you speak in this tone, it seems to really grow up. Little stinky haughty, quickly catch up with the Phoenix girl walking in the front. At this time, he should stand beside her and give support. In prison, the guards knew that someone would come today, and they were ready to wait. The dark beast is so powerful that no one dares to release him. Open the door. Feng Weng stood in the front of the team, coldly told the guards. Little Stinky stood beside her, also learning to have no expression on her face. Yes. The door of the prison opened slowly, revealing the blue array. The dark beast was standing in it. As soon as the door was opened, he turned around and was right in front of Feng Weng's eyes. Feng Weng moved in her heart. Don't turn your head. She said to the guard, turn off the array. The guard was stunned and didn't respond for a moment. Holy daughter, the dark beast is too powerful. If there is no restriction of array. Behind him, a group of pharaohs frowned and worried. No matter the array, how can you take back the dark death? If he escapes, he will be caught again. Small stinky eyes a stare. Don't give these old men any face. Don't you doubt my strength? I dare not. The pharaohs quickly said, don't you close the array soon? Hum. Little Stink gave a cold hum. These old men, if they don't know anything else, will talk nonsense with him here. At the critical moment, they still have to rely on their fists. Of course, the Phoenix people have become accustomed to being proud, and they don't think it's a bad attitude towards Little Stink. On the contrary, the more noble and proud the grade is, the more it seems to be taken for granted. This guy is bad at learning from you. Shengguan walked up to Yunwu and tut-tut twice. I know everything. The cloud dances a corner of the mouth to hook. This style still really quite some very much like her. So what's wrong? Shengguan curled his lips, and then suddenly grinned. Good, very good. The array is closed, the blue light dissipates, the prison is dark, only the night pearl inlaid on the wall is illuminated. At the moment when the array is closed, the elders of the Phoenix clan are like enemies, for fear that the dark beast will attack suddenly. However, when the array was closed, nothing happened to the dark beast. After staring at Feng Weng for a long time, she slowly said, let's go. Well. Feng Weng nodded, with mixed feelings in her heart. However, she had to order people to watch the dark beast closely, and the group left the prison. How can this dark beast be so honest? An unknown elder asked. I'm afraid it's in the face of the saint. Another elder knows more. For the saint. The former elder was stunned. Suddenly, I thought of something I had heard before. When I contacted the beast gate, the dark beast talked to the saint. Suddenly, my face sank, and I looked rather taboo. I'm afraid the saint will protect him, after all. The third elder came in and said half of what he said. However, it made all the elders present feel that their hearts sank, and many people made up their minds not to let the saint take sides. Little Stink walked in front, but listened to these people's conversation clearly, and immediately gave a cold hum. If Feng Weng and Yunwu were not present, he would tear up the elders' mouths on the spot. A high platform in the Phoenix clan, a group of people standing below. When I take back the breath of darkness, it's all around me. You can't bear it. The dark beast stopped, turned to Feng Wengnu and said, so there's no need for people to follow me. No way. Feng Weng has not yet export. Behind the elders immediately someone out of a voice, cold shout. Don't follow you? Who knows if you're going to run away? Shut up, Feng Wengnu, cold drink way. Cold eyes look at the name of the voice of the elder immediately silence. But almost all the elders colluded with each other. At this time, they saw that Feng Wengnu really meant to be partial. Immediately, someone ignored Feng Wengnu's anger and said, Saint, it's very important at this time. Please don't believe him easily. If you let him escape, the disaster of the Phoenix clan is not over. The dark people are insidious and cunning. You can't easily believe them. All the people's words point at the evil beast of darkness. For fear that Feng Weng is soft-hearted, she agrees to his request. Feng Weng frowned, trying to stop them. However, as a saint of the Phoenix family, She must be thorough in her work. These people are very authoritative in the family and have made great contributions to the Phoenix family. No matter what, she can't treat them badly. If you have the courage, you can go up with me, but you will lose your life at that time. Don't say I didn't remind you. The cold vision of the dark beast swept those elders, dropped this sentence and turned to the high platform. The elders were blowing their beards and staring, but they didn't dare to say anything to the dark beast. Saint, shall we go? The guards who originally surrounded the dark beast hesitated when they saw this scene. He doesn't look like a liar. Maybe they can't bear the darkness. Feng also wiped those elders, for just their practice is not satisfied, so cold voice said, ask the elder. The implication is that if they lose their lives, they will be held responsible. The elders choked and looked at each other. No one dared to give orders at will. Well, don't go. It's already started. Small stink despised to see elders one eye, disdain of say. One by one, these people can only use their mouths to say that they have no ability. See pure blood demon Huang said words, you elders have shut up, also no longer stand out. On the high platform, the dark beast's palms are changing rapidly in front of him, just like the summoning array. Soon, the black energy directly emerges from his body and envelopes his whole body. For a moment, the dark air in the air seemed to be called. Faintly trembling, strong wind, the sound of tohu resounded through the whole platform. All the people present felt the restless dark air in the air. I saw that the figure wrapped in the black fog continued to expand. Soon, the body of the dark beast appeared on the high platform, and people could not help but take a breath. Although we knew what the dark beast was like before, it was the first time that we saw it in such a short distance. In particular, the elders of the Phoenix clan were afraid to think that they were so close to him just now. If he is angry, who can resist it? An elder trembled and said that there was some fear in his heart. This idea spread in the hearts of all the pharaohs, and their expressions fell in the eyes of the little smelly people, and they could not help humming. Then the black fog dispersed, and the huge body suddenly opened its mouth, and a strong suction appeared, just like swallowing the sky and spitting the earth. The air of darkness and death in the environment is constantly pouring into the mouth of the dark beast, and the only thing that is sucked in is the air of darkness. The people under the high platform felt as if they were in the center of a tornado. Because they were close to each other, the strength of darkness around them suddenly increased. At the moment, an elder felt unwell and nearly stood unsteadily. Long Qingxia protects Yunwu in his arms. As soon as he turns over his hand, he sets up a barrier around him. They are safe and sound. Shangguan's several people also in the fastest time reaction have to protect themselves. At this time, we can see the strength of the high and low, the black wind, whistling, sound, mixed with the dark gas of corrosion. Those elders can't bear it at first. Some people have been staggering for a long time. These stinking old men should let them suffer. Xiao Smelly looked coldly at the elders and tried to set up barriers one by one. What's more, he was already unable to support them. One side of the Fenghuang frowned, looked around, some worried. I'm afraid it's hard for other people to resist except you. Small Stinka Lung quickly looked to Cloud Dance a few people. Although they didn't have the effect of restraining the dark air as they did, they all had their own ways to protect themselves from being hurt, and they were immediately relieved. Suddenly a scream came. Little Smelly looked around and saw that the barrier of an elder had been broken in the dark whirlwind. At this time, he was tottering in the strong wind and was about to be blown to the sky. The corrosion of the dark air is not easy. Yunwu glances at him and nods to Xiaoqiu. Well, that's troublesome. Little Stinky turned his mouth, but he still held out his hand. The red fire element emerges and turns into a circle to wrap the crowd inside. Through the red barrier, you can still see the outside clearly. In this red barrier, people have their own barriers down. The reason why they protect each other just now is just to let the so-called Elder Zhangchang's memory not be higher than the top all the time. Now that he has learned the lesson, he will naturally learn well. One by one, The elders were flustered by the wind. They couldn't bear the dark air. They just felt very uncomfortable. Now they calmed down and found that they were all in a mess. Only Cloud danced that a few people seemed to have not experienced the situation just now. General, immediately embarrassed smile. Your Highness is really powerful. He cannot be moved. An elder said to Yunwu with a smile. Cloud Dance lightly looked at him, turned his head and continued to stare at the movement on the high platform. Such a shameless behavior makes those elders dare not even complain. The whirlwind of darkness is getting bigger and bigger, and the whole people feel that kind of uneasiness. Is it going to take back the power of darkness? It seems so. It seems that the wind is getting stronger and stronger. I'd better hide as soon as possible. The point is go. The power is so strong that it will hurt people in a little while. The clansmen went home one after another and closed the door tightly. In the whole mountain palace, the air of darkness is more and more strong. But outside the mountain palace, especially in some remote places, the air of darkness has disappeared completely, and the sunshine of the past has reappeared. On the high platform in the depth of the mountain palace, the dark evil beast turned into the prototype seems to be tireless. It always has a mouth to devour the dark chi. But the elders in the shield were getting worse and worse. I didn't expect that the air of darkness was so strong. Fortunately, we were far away, and we had a protective cover to restrain the air of darkness. Situ Lan's eyes fixed on the high platform and said, there was almost nothing else around the shield, as dark as haze. However, it can be seen that the top of the high platform has almost become pure black. To this extent, all the guards are glad that they didn't follow. Otherwise, they would have died long ago. This dark spirit is really harmful. No wonder the dark people are not allowed to live in the world. An elder stares at the situation outside. Some palpitations say, fortunately, the dark beast has been subdued by us. Otherwise, we Phoenix people will be enveloped in this poisonous gas all day long, and there will be a great disaster in the future. Another elder continued. Small stinkies, love say, you poor as can say. The elders froze all over and shut up one after another. The dark evil beast was subdued by the pure blood demon Huang, which had nothing to do with them. Thinking about the relationship between Xiao Smelly's rebellious nature and the dark evil beast, everyone stopped talking. This situation lasted for a long time. When the dark beast stopped, it was 2 hours later. Once again, the dark beast in the shape of human appeared on the high platform, and the surrounding environment has become extremely sunny. A round of sun in the sky shines in the sky, sprinkling the sun on every corner. It's fine. On the street, a person who took the lead in opening the window looked at the sunny environment and couldn't help shouting excitedly. Hear his voice. Immediately someone can't wait to open the window. Great. It's clear. The sun is out again. Come out and have a look. Our home has changed again. Come out quickly in the streets and alleys. Every one of the Phoenix clan is full of joy. It's over. Feng Huang murmured. Clearly see this kind of Phoenix she should be happy, but now she is not happy. Because just after she left that day, she had a very bold idea. Today, she watched him take back the darkness, as if they were in love. The bold idea in her heart was finally confirmed by her. The red barrier around was removed, and the dark beast stood on the high platform for a long time, staring at the distance, as if he had lost his life. If it wasn't for his powerful posture, I'm afraid someone would have doubted whether he was dead or not. The elders looked at the saint and saw that she only looked at the dark beast above, but did not notice them. So they simply waved their hands. The guards immediately rushed to the stage and surrounded the dark beast. At this time, the dark beast finally had a reaction. His eyes swayed around the guards, and there was a trace of disdain in his eyes. A group of little soldiers. The guards turned pale and blue, but they knew the strength gap with him, and they didn't speak, so they surrounded him. The dark beast did not look at them, but walked directly to the bottom of the high platform. The guards in front of them quickly backed away and let the dark beast walk towards their saint. I have recovered the spirit of dark death. I think the future Phoenix clan will soon be able to return to its former glory. The dark beast looked at Fenghuang and suddenly showed a smile. The smile appeared on that face, surprisingly warm. Thank you very much. Fenghuang bit her lip and finally spit out the two words. Saint, why thank him? Don't forget, the reason why the Phoenix clan has the situation before is that he made it? It's right to take it back. The elder on one side immediately stares at an eye to say, anyway have pure blood demon Huang in, also not afraid of dark evil beast meeting how. Yes, Saint. Why are you so polite to him? He's just a prisoner now. He'll be sealed sooner or later. Fenghuang lowered her head and didn't speak. She turned a blind eye to what the elder said, and her heart was full of mixed feelings. All shut up. The cold voice rang out and instantly quenched the elder's anger. Fenghuang knew was stunned. She saw that the dark beast was staring at the elders coldly. It seemed that as long as they dared to say, no, again, he would do it directly. The dark people no longer exist, and I should have been sealed. Dark evil beast Lightmouth says, the line of sight puts on the body of the Phoenix female. It seems that only when I talk to her can I be so calm. It wasn't my intention to break the seal this time. I didn't keep my promise with you and hurt your people. Although it's the people of the Beast Gate who did it, it's because I'm not mentally strong and I don't trust you so much. That's why they took advantage of me. Now, seal me again. The words of the dark beast floated out little by little and fell in the ears of every elder, making them completely shut up. The anger that had been directed at him now seemed like they were small-bellied. Fenghuang lowered her head. Her long eyelashes covered her eyes. She didn't speak for a long time. The dark beast was not in a hurry. He turned his head and looked at the little stink standing beside Fenghuang. Two people looked at each other for a long time. The dark beast suddenly hit the small stink on the shoulder, instantly hurt the small stink teeth crack mouth. The dark beast laughed. Ha ha ha, smelly boy, worthy of my child. Good. I can beat lousy. The dark beast's eyes were bright. Looking at the child who had only seen him a few times, he had mixed feelings in his heart, and inexplicably felt a sense of pride as a father. Little smelly Smella listened to this words, immediately turned his head, said, I am pure blood demon Huang, of course powerful. The dark beast frowned. As soon as he wanted to say something, he heard little stink tight and said, I'll have a chance to compete with you in the future, Daddy. The dark beast was stunned, and then began to laugh more wildly. The laughter spread far away, as if the whole Phoenix family could hear it, regardless of the elder's face. Ha, good. How is my son? The dark beast looked at the little stink with a smile on his face, with all kinds of reluctance. Today, I can solve the crisis of the Phoenix family and recognize the children. It's not in vain for me to come out. The dark beast said, it's just that when there is always a difference, you can cut the mess quickly and seal me today. After that, he turned his head and looked at Fenghuang, waiting for her action. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Fenghuang. As long as she gave an order, someone would take the dark beast away and take him to the place where he had been sealed before. But if she doesn't speak, no one here will be easily moving. Who knows if the dark beast will suddenly hurt people? Saint, make up your mind. People wait for a long time, but never see. Fenghuang nodded. Finally, that little worry slowly expanded, someone anxious mouth urged way. Yes, Saint, seal it as soon as possible. There are still many things you need to do in the clan. Fenghuang suddenly took a deep breath, raised her head and laughed at the dark beast. This smile was a little puzzling. Then, Fenghuang turned her head and slowly opened her mouth to the elders. Everyone from now on, the Phoenix family will ask you. Everyone was stunned and didn't understand what she meant. The corner of Fenghuang's mouth raised a smile, as if she had made a decision to make her feel more relaxed. I decided to be sealed with him. What? Everyone was so surprised that even Yunwu didn't expect Fenghuang to make this decision. It's no wonder that Fenghuang didn't let her interfere since she arrived here. It must be to let her see her decision, so that she can help Fenghuang people more in the future. How can this be done, Saint? You are the saint of our Phoenix clan. How can you be with the people of the Dark Clan? Yes, Saint, he is a dark beast. Why do you want to accompany him to seal it? If you do, maybe you will never see the light again. What's more, the dark beast is extremely ferocious. If you insist on going, what should you do when you are hurt by him again? Saint, please think twice. Dissuading voice one after another, have a face anxious looking at Feng Huingve, wanna let her change the decision. Clinker, but Feng Huingve raised her hand, let everyone quiet down. Needless to say, as a saint, I should think of the Phoenix family and seal the dark beast. However, as a wife, I should stand in the husband's position, a family of 3 reunion. It's rare to have 2 perfect laws in the world, so I can only accompany him to be sealed forever. The dark beast was so excited that he almost wanted to hold her in his arms, but he stifled it. How can you be with him, Saint? Since it was a mistake at the beginning, we should not let it continue, ah? Don't go, Saint. It's a sealed place. You can't go, Saint. The elders didn't agree with Feng Huingve's behavior. But this time, Feng Huingve simply took the hand of the dark beast and went to the place of the seal. Behind him, a group of elders rushed to catch up with him and tried every means to stop him. Long Qingxie moved in his heart, put his hand around Yunwu's waist, bowed his head and said in a soft voice, "The love that is not tolerated by the secular world is hard." Cloud dance in the heart of a move, naturally understand what the dragon tilt heresy means. For such a long time, she had never heard Long Qingxie say such words. Originally, she thought he didn't care, but now it seems that he also hopes that they can go smoothly. This time, through the feelings of Feng Huingve and the dark beast, I thought of them. There are some feelings in Yunwu's heart. However, fortunately, both she and Long Qingxie don't believe in fate, even if they are not accepted by the secular society. What? They will be together as well. Wait! Yunwu suddenly stopped the noisy people. The elders are worrying about the saint. If it wasn't for the dark beast who doesn't agree to let Feng Huingve follow him, they would have gone directly to the place to seal it. At this time, they heard Yunwu tell them to stop and immediately thought that Yunwu is the priest of the Phoenix family and must be able to convince the saint. At present, the elders cast their eyes toward Yunwu with hope. Cloud dance also don't let them down, and Long Qingxie go forward together, stand in front of Feng Huingve, just block her way. What do you mean, Miss Yun? Feng Huingve frowned for fear that the cloud dance would stop her. It's not interesting, just a few questions. Cloud dance light said. Then he turned around, looked at the elders and asked, "Dare to ask you, why do the Phoenix people fear the dark beasts so much?" It's needless to say that the evil beasts of the dark have done so much evil that they have hurt our people's lives. Naturally, they will seal him. An elder said immediately. As soon as he said this, he was approved by many elders and nodded. But he doesn't look like he's going to hurt the Phoenix people. Cloud Dance pointed to the Dark Beast said, "Your Highness, don't be fooled by the way he is. The Dark Beast clan is very difficult to deal with. They can't control their anger and hurt many people before. Who knows when they will suddenly flee? So in order not to cause disaster, it's better to seal it." Another elder said immediately. In a word, in their view, the evil beast of darkness must not be allowed to come out to do evil, either dead or sealed. Have you forgotten? At the beginning, the reason why he hurt the people was all the ghosts of the beast sect. The Phoenix girl Ming Baiyan Dance was afraid that she had something to do, so she cooperated with them and said coldly to the elders, "He was controlled by the beast gate and lost his memory. That's why she took action against the people. This is not his original intention. Now that he has recovered his memory, he will not do that again." "Saint, there is no guarantee of that." The elders said with painstaking care, once the dark gas in their body breaks out, they are afraid that they can't control it, let alone others? Feng Huingve was silent, which she really had no way. But she has no way, does not mean that others have no way. If you change that, you won't stop them from being together anymore? The voice of Cloud Dance came coldly. If these people's starting point was not for the consideration of the Phoenix family, she would not have told them so much. At this time the Cloud Dance see Feng Huingve two people, seem to unconsciously think of oneself and dragon poor evil, how can give stop their person good face to see? The elders were stunned, nodded and said, "If the dark people can live in peace, we naturally don't want to get to the present situation, but how is that possible?" Cloud Dance sneered, "What you think is impossible doesn't mean others can't do it." Then, without giving them an explanation, he turned to the dark beast and said, "If you want to try, come with me." The dark beast nodded, and without thinking about it, he crossed the crowd and followed Yunwu. Anyway, he can't control himself. No matter what Yunwu says is true or not, he will try. One day, he will firmly grasp the hope of reuniting with his wife and children. Two people once again boarded the high platform. Cloud Dance gave Long Qingxie a look, motioned him not to let others close. Long Qingxie consciously when the guard. "Everyone, it's dangerous up there. You'd better keep away from it." The elders looked at this smiling face of evil spirit, as if an evil man languidly said for their consideration, "Don't know why," inexplicably trembled all over for a while, as if encountering a terrible existence, one after another did not speak. On the high platform, Yunwu and the dark beast sat down face to face and soon entered meditation. Long Qingxie squints at the situation on the stage, a pair of slender eyebrows don't know what to think. Yunwu raised her hand and stuck it directly on the top of the dark beast's head. A pure force of evil bite was mobilized and penetrated into the dark beast's body. Although it's just a little bit, after entering the dark beast's body, this power can suppress the original power in his body. Even if the dark beast wants to mobilize it, it can't do it. Relax, don't resist. The cold voice of Cloud Dance came into the ears of the dark beast, and the dark beast obediently did it. Yunwu closed his eyes and carefully felt the power in the dark beast. Under her control, the force orderly concentrated the dark force in the dark beast, and all rushed to the position of Dantian, and formed a circle to encircle the force. Cloud Dance heart move, directly in the dark beast's body set a seal, that force was also left in his body. Although the whole process was simple, it took 2 hours for Cloud Dance. By the end of the day, there were already fine beads of sweat on the forehead. Long Qingxie went directly to the high platform, helped her up from the place, let her lean on her own arms, and gently said in her ear, "Little thing, you've worked hard." Cloud Dance mouth slightly hook up, let the dragon Qing evil embrace her. Feng Wang rushed up long ago and helped the dark beast up from the place. The dark beast almost couldn't stand up when she got up. She shook her body and was startled. He relies too much on the dark qi. Now the dark force in his body is sealed by me, so he will not adapt. Cloud Dance says softly. Feng Wang nodded at ease. The elders also gathered together. I saw that the dark beast was extremely weak, as if she had experienced a great war. Leaning on Feng Wangnu, she was very petite, and the dark air on him disappeared directly. How is that possible? How did you do that? The elders looked at the dark beast in shock, almost speechless. What's more, he has already released his mental power to feel, but he still can't feel any dark power. Yunwu was not interested in explaining why. Now he asked coldly, "Elders, I have sealed his dark power. From now on, he will never be affected by the dark power. Now, is it time to fulfill his promise?" The elders looked at each other, and they all saw their unwillingness from each other's faces. Now it seems that there is no power of darkness, but what if suddenly there is? So we still have to observe for a while. Yes, and even if he doesn't have the power of darkness, he won't harm people anymore, but how can the Dark Clan and the Phoenix Clan be together? What's more, she is our saint. If she is with the people of the Dark Group, I'm afraid there will be a lot of comments. Bang dash, Xiao Chou clapped one hand on one side of the pillar and made a loud noise, which directly covered up the elder's noise. The crowd was startled. They looked at it and saw little Stinky's angry face. The rules, a group of dead old men, it's not appropriate to manage together. Is it necessary for you to agree with me when my parents are together? If you can't even be together, what's the use of being your saint? I don't think you deserve to be beaten. Today, I will teach you a good lesson, let you know Big Fist is the rule. After that, the golden light flashed, and a phoenix wrapped in the golden light appeared directly in front of the crowd. But now the golden phoenix, the golden light shining seems to be mixed with a touch of red. As soon as the golden phoenix appeared, it seemed that there was another sun in the phoenix family. The golden light came down and almost shone on the whole phoenix family. In the streets and alleys, many people lean out their heads and look into the air. When their eyes reach the golden phoenix, they all look forward to it. The golden phoenix soared into the sky. The high sound of the phoenix spread all over the corner. The presence of the pharaoh directly changed his face. "What's the matter? What is he doing?" Shangguan looked at Feng Huang curiously. "How do you feel that he is saying something to others?" Feng Huang's face was shocked, and at the same time, she was proud. "He's telling the whole Feng Huang people that if someone objects to his parents being together, he will leave Feng Huang with us and never come back. We have nothing to do with all the troubles, honor and disgrace of the Phoenix people in the future. If you hear another word of right and wrong, don't blame his men for being merciless." Shangguan understands why the elders here have changed their colors. Threat. This is a naked threat. The phoenix flying in the sky is almost a symbol of the faith of the whole phoenix family. If such faith leaves the phoenix family, I'm afraid those elders who drive them away will not have any good end. Little Stink flew around in the sky and conveyed his message. Then, suddenly lowered his head, cold eyes on the several elders standing on the high platform. The elders trembled and said, "Guard the beast." The next moment, a golden phoenix mouth, a red flame directly into a sword toward the bottom. The elders were startled and quickly dispersed. The huge pressure from the sky, the pressure from the blood make the elders almost breathless. After the red flame, Small Stink directly lazy to start. The pure blood demon Huang can make the phoenix family submit just by the pressure of his blood. Now he will exert all the pressure. How can these elders have the strength to resist? Long Qingxie explained with a smile, the pressure on the blood is much greater than the pressure on the realm. Cloud Dance nodded. No wonder those elders all lie on the ground and can't get up. Come back, that's enough. Feng Wing is soft-hearted after all. Seeing that the time was almost up, I was afraid that one or two of these elders would die. I said to the little stink in the sky. Little Stink of Feng Ming seemed to be for these elders feel disdain general. This just turned into human form, fell down from the sky. For a long time, the opposition finally succumbed to the pressure of Little Stink. It seems that it is more difficult for such a pure blood demon Huang to leave the race than to let the dark evil beast who has lost the power of darkness stay in the race. The elders think twice and finally make a choice. Xiao Wu, I said you've broken him. Look at this move, tut-tut. Shangguan shook his head and said to Yunwu. Cloud Dance glanced at him. Light said, means vary from person to person. Shangguan scratched his head and thought Yunwu was right. The holy beast calms down. We are just thinking about the Phoenix clan. Since he will not do anything to hurt the clan, we will send someone to prepare his residence immediately and leave other things to us. The Holy Daughter's family is not reunited, so it's better to be reunited. With these words, the elders slipped away. Small Stink into a human form, looking at their back, disdained to curl his mouth. Yunwu didn't go with Feng Wingf. She knew that family reunion was bound to have a lot to say, so she consciously left time for them. The night is deeper and the dew is heavy. Yunwu stands in the yard for a long time. Until Long Qingxie appears behind him, he sighs faintly. Long Qingxie steps forward and gently hugs her in his arms. He doesn't ask anything. He just looks at Yunwu's actions during the day and knows that she must be homesick. It's just her grandfather. They stood in the yard for a long time, and finally Yunwu took the lead to open the mouth. Everything here has been settled. I'm afraid the Phoenix clan doesn't have what we're looking for. Yunwu frowned and worried. It's a bit difficult to find all these things. Long Qingxie looked down at the Cloud Dance and knew that she had buried the missing in her heart. After all, she is not the one who puts all her feelings on her face. Instead of worrying about the moon, she should be happy with her actions. It's better to take advantage of these days to inquire in the clan to see if anyone knows the whereabouts of that thing. Long Qingxie suggested that his voice was very charming in the night. Cloud Dance nodded. This is good, After all, little Stink just recognized his parents. There should be a lot to say. The two agreed to finish and went back to the room together. When Yunwoo tossed and turned, he just sat up and continued to practice. Since the promotion to Emperor Wu, the improvement of strength has been slower. Fortunately, after several battles, the progress is barely enough. Yunwoo doesn't worry about it. His practice is accumulated over time. As long as he persists, there will always be results. From the second day on, several people didn't disturb Xiaoqiu, but they were distributed among the Phoenix family to inquire about the news. Until 3 days later, Cloud Dance decided to leave the Phoenix Kingdom without knowing the whereabouts of what she was looking for. "Mama, are you leaving today?" Small Stink to Cloud Dance side asked, line of sight to the other side of the waiting Fenghuang and Dark Beast, with a lot of reluctant. Cloud Dance in the heart move, on the face but light answer away. "Oh." Little Stinky lowered his head a little lost. And Fenghuang, 2 people have already come over, stretched out her hand to hold the small Stink in her arms. "Be careful outside. Remember to come back more," Fenghuang said in a low voice. At this time, she is like a saint of the Phoenix family, just like an ordinary mother, thinking about her child who is about to leave. "Don't worry, I'm not a child." Little Stink curled his mouth and said haughtily. After these 3 days together, the parents have been closer than before, but Yunwoo still occupies an irreplaceable position in his heart. Cloud Dance looked at the inseparable mother and son, hesitated for a moment, said, "If you are forced to leave the contract, you can stay. As long as you are willing, I can solve the contract for you." Everyone was stunned. Rescind the contract? However, before everyone could react, Xiao Stink rubbed against Yunwoo directly, looked at Yunwoo wrongly and said, "Mama, don't you want me?" All of them sweat in their hearts and make complaints about themselves. Why are they so big, or are they spoiled? Long Qingxia frowned and pulled the Cloud Dance into his arms. His sharp eyes turned away from Fenghuang and the Dark Beast, who had been stunned, and said, "Your mother is over there." Little Stinky glared at Long Qingxia and continued to look at Cloud Dance pitifully. Cloud Dance mouth a hook, the face is still cold. "If you don't want to, when I just casually say." After hearing this, Little Stink was relieved and muttered in a low voice, "I don't want to stay here. I'm tired of facing those stinky old men all day long." Fenghuang's eyes flashed a trace of sadness, but also did not say anything. "Go out and practice." The Dark Beast came forward, patted the Little Stinky on the shoulder, and said earnestly, "My child, you can't stick to the present situation. Only in the outside world can you grow up continuously." After hearing this, the Little Stinky mouth grinned and said, "I love this." "Well, let's say goodbye here. It's time for us to go," Yunwoo said, nodding to the person who came to see him off, and turning to leave. "The priest wait?" Fenghuang suddenly asked in a voice, "I don't know where you are going next. I'm not sure yet. I'm just going to find out where the flowers are." Cloud Dance turns around and says to the Phoenix girl, "The flower of rattan?" Fenghuang was stunned, and then said thoughtfully, "I heard that several people have been asking about things these days, but I didn't expect it was this thing. Do you know where it is?" There was a flash of hope in Yunwoo's eyes, as if he had found a way out. Fenghuang nodded and said, "I've heard of it, but I'm not sure. If you don't have a place to go, maybe you can go to the border of Mudu. Maybe it's there." The boundary of the wood capital? Yes, in this mainland of China, there are actually border areas of many countries. The human world occupies the largest area among all walks of life. However, all walks of life in other regions do not like to walk with others, so they choose suitable places to set up border areas. The entrance to the world of Mudu, I remember, is closest to your world. Fenghuang said in detail. "I don't know. Do you have a map to enter the boundary of Mudu?" Although I know the boundary of Mudu, it's the first time I've heard about it. I'm afraid it will take a lot of time to find the entrance. If Fenghuang has a map, it's certainly the best. Fenghuang shook her head. "No, but if you want to find a map, maybe you can go to the College of Human World." "College?" Yes, in the human world, I'm afraid only the database in your Human World College can have a map of the entrance to the world of Mudu. You can look for it, maybe you can find it. Smell speech, Cloud Dance is silent for a moment, just say toward Feng Huang Nu, thank you. One day in the future, he will come back to Phoenix. Anyway, this is his route. Don't worry. He, of course, means little stink. Feng Huang smiles and nods gratefully. This just watched people fly away from the Phoenix clan. A few people just walked a section of road. Shangguan then grinned to the side of Small Stink, a face of bad intentions. What are you doing? Little Stinky looked at him with a vigilant face. Shangguan ignored Xiaolukaku's face and said with a smile, you recognize your parents, and this time you have to travel far away. Have they prepared a lot of good things for you? Little Smelly was surprised. How do you know? Shangguan smiles more brightly. Little Smelly was stunned, which reflected that he was deliberately deceiving him before becoming an official. He immediately scratched his head in chagrin. No. Nothing after that he ran to Yunwu. Shangguan pursued, your parents are so noble, and you are their only child. They must have a lot of money, and they give you good things. Xiao Smelly stares, turns to Yunwu and says pitifully, Mama, look at him. Yunwu glanced at Shangguan and continued on his way. Shangguan went up again. Is there anything interesting and delicious in it? Take it out and have a look. Don't hide it. I won't rob you. No more. Little Stink glared at him. Don't be so stingy. Come on, share with me, ah? What about people? In the middle of Shangguan's words, the little smelly figure suddenly disappeared. Look up to see Cloud Dance turn the ring on the hand, a face indifferent continue to drive. This just no Small Stink has returned to the space. Shangguan turned his lips and left the Phoenix family behind Yunwu. Three days later, Zhou Dynasty, the gate of Yun family mansion in the Imperial City. Looking at the mansion still with the Cloud House sign, there was a faint undercurrent in Yunwu's heart. I couldn't see what emotion it was. In fact, without the existence of the people she was involved in, the mansion in front of her was just an ordinary one. However, I didn't expect that more than a year had passed since I left last time, and the Cloud House sign was still hanging. Of course, she didn't think that Zhou Bat-Ian would have such kindness. Little thing, why don't you go in and have a look? Long Qingxia put his hand around Yunwu's waist and said in a soft voice. Although he knew that the little thing in his arms was a colder person, he knew that although she always acted as if she was indifferent to everything, in fact, she had her own tenderness and didn't want to express it. This family she cares. Otherwise, I will not come back here after I come back from the Phoenix family. Nangong Yi and others also looked at Yunwu, but they didn't say much. Along the way, it seems that there has been an unexplained tacit understanding between them. Cloud danced but shook his head. No, here is empty house, nothing to look at. At the end of the speech, Yunwu turns around and intends to leave. When she came back, she just wanted to have a look and was not prepared to stay long. Because there are too many things have not been completed. 10,000 Beast Gate one day does not extinguish, grandfather one day does not come back, her route has nothing to settle down. However, when Cloud Dance turned around, there was an open moving sound from the closed door. A moment. You wait. A husky voice suddenly called for the exit. When Yunwu and others heard this, they stopped and turned around. A woman in a long black dress and a veil stood at the half-opened gate of Yunfu. At a glance, Yunwu recognized who the woman was. Youngsinger, the first lady who let the maid leave her on the cliff. It's really you. Are you back? Yunxinger's eyes flashed a touch of embarrassment, but there was a glimmer of brilliance. Yes, it's brilliant. It's like seeing a straw. Yunwu doesn't have much affection for Yunxinger. However, she remembers that she hasn't recovered what she did to her. However, at this time, the door of Yunfu was opened, and several figures came out one after another. When those people saw the Cloud Dance, they were stunned at first, but then they were excited. Is it a little dance? It's really, you're back. A middle-aged man, almost in a hurry, rushes to Yunwoo and reaches for Yunwoo's hand excitedly. Dragon Qing evil feet a move, embrace Cloud dance to avoid that man's hand. The women in my family don't like other people's hands and feet. A voice like evil spirit, but with irresistible dignity. The middle-aged man was stunned, and his hands were frozen in the air. He looked at the dragon who was beside Yunwoo and followed the Shangguan and other people. This combination of handsome men and beautiful women has attracted the attention of many passers-by since their appearance. And the breath on them is so calm that people can't detect any of it. We can guess that their strength has reached an amazing level. Are these people the partners of Cloud Dance? The middle-aged man's originally excited mood gradually began to converge, but the joy in his eyes was more and more deepened. I'm sorry. I'm really rude just now. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Yunfeng, the head of the Cloud family whose branch is in Ningqing. I'm also the cousin of Xiaowu. Cousin? Cloud Dance smell speech, not from a tiny Siu raised eyebrow. Does the Cloud family have branches? How come she never knew? However, for the Cloud family, she seems to have never paid much attention to anything except her grandfather. She didn't know that the Cloud family had branches, and it didn't seem strange. However, it seems that she has never seen this so-called cousin. How can he recognize her? Yunfeng is also a sharp-eyed man. Naturally, he saw the subtle changes in Yunwoo's expression and immediately explained, more than a year ago, after the destruction of the master of the Cloud family, there were some mysterious people who took your portrait to look for people all over the Zhou dynasty, and the branch of the Cloud family in Ningqing was almost washed away. Fortunately, the niece of Xinger arrived with people, and the branch of the Cloud family was saved, but Xinger herself. Speaking of this, Yunfeng obviously stopped for a moment. However, Cloud Dance saw that Cloud Star Sun's dress at this time with just her that voice, roughly also guessed what. Xinger has paid a lot for the Cloud family, but my cousin has no ability. Now that you are back, we Cloud family will have hope. Yunfeng said at the same time, looking at Yunwoo's eyes full of expectations. Including the men and women who just came out, they all looked at the Cloud Dance with excitement and joy, and their eyes seemed to see the hope of life. Indeed, in the past year or two, the Cloud family, which used to be prosperous for a long time, has now become fragmented. In addition, under the slaughter of the Beast Gate, there are few surviving members of the Cloud family. The only thing left in the blood of the master of the Cloud family is the abandoned Cloud Star, who is dancing with the cloud in front of him, who has changed from a waste to a genius. I believe that no one in the Three Kingdoms knows the legend of Cloud Dance. At this time, the Cloud family needs a belief support, a person who can give them hope. Obviously, the person in their heart is Yunwoo. Don't stand at the door. Let's go in first. See, Cloud Dance doesn't seem to make any statement, Cloud Peak said in a hurry. And a few people at the door also reacted immediately. Yes, come in. I'll get something delicious right away. Looking at these strange, so-called Cloud family members, Cloud Dance in the end or loose, with Yunfeng into the house. Dragon Qing evil several people also followed in. And just after the door of the Cloud family was closed again, those passers-by who looked around from the roadside finally got together and whispered some voices of discussion. It turns out that those young people just now have something to do with the Cloud family. At this time, they don't want to stay away. They are also involved with the Cloud family. They are very bold. Yes, since the Yun family was exterminated, as long as they are related to the Yun family, they have all fallen into bad luck. I don't know if you have heard that the Murong family in Los Angeles seems to have something to do with the ninth lady of the Yun family. More than half a year ago, the whole Murong family was bloody washed. That's a tragedy. I've heard about it for a long time, and it's nothing new. However, there's something new recently that you absolutely don't know. What's up? Let's hear it. I heard reliable news that half a year ago, not all the Murong family were killed, but they were secretly rescued by Ouyang family in Shuiqing. A middle-aged man whispered mysteriously. Is that true? Of course, The news only came back last night. You think everyone can hear it? If this is the case, Ouyang family in Shuiqing is also very brave. Who said it wasn't? However, those people did not know that their voices were all heard by the people who had just entered the gate of the Cloud family. Yunwu's face was completely black when he heard that the Murong family had been destroyed half a year ago. A storm is about to come of suppress murderous gas, seem to hide not to live of quickly spread toward all around. Yunfeng, who is leading the way, seems to feel this sudden murderous atmosphere. He stops and turns his head to look at the Cloud dancing people who are standing at the door. Xiao Wu, what's the matter? I have something urgent, so I won't stay. I'll ask Uncle Yu about the Cloud family. The Cloud danced towards the Cloud Peak and said, almost without any hesitation. As soon as he brushed his hand, he raised his head and called in the air, Jinling, come out. Ouch! A cry of carving with a golden light passing by suddenly broke the air. In the twinkling of an eye, you can see a huge and powerful golden carving. The void appears in the mid-air of the roof of the Cloud family. This scene, but instantly surprised the pedestrians on the street outside Yunfu. Yunwu didn't say anything, but with a leap of body shape, his sensitive body had already stood behind the golden carving in the blink of an eye. Dragon Qing Evil see this, the radiant of the corner of the mouth, slender posture floating leap, in the twinkling of an eye to stand beside the Cloud dance. I'll go to Shuiqing with Xiaozi first. You can follow me. What? You? Shengguan's words are not finished. As soon as the dragon's voice fell, the golden eagle raised its head and sang, and its huge wings flapped. After a violent wind, it turned into a streamer and disappeared in full view. What's going on? All the pedestrians on the streets around Yun's house seemed to be shocked by what they had just seen. Just now, we didn't see that, did we? That's advanced flying warcraft, right? Yes, it must be. I've seen it from the book records. It seems to be a high-level spirit beast, a rare kind of gold carving. It's the girl who just entered the Cloud family. Inside, Nanganji looks at the direction of Yunwu's disappearance, but he shakes his head, but he doesn't know where to take out a flute. Under the white sand, after the flute pasted on the thin lip, a strange sound effect suddenly spread silently. What are you doing? Shengguan was going to catch up with Yunwu, but Nangongyi took out his flute and asked strangely. But Situ Lan said with a smile, this sight belongs to our Nangong child. What's your hurry? Mengbai glanced at Nangongyi and said nothing. Pray for the night that nature is still a face of cold silent. However, after hearing this, Yunfeng's several people can't help looking at Nangongyi in surprise. Although he found some excellent companions around Yunwu, he didn't know that Nanganji, the son of the national teacher, was one of them. Well, you are Nangong. Roar. However, without waiting for Yunfeng to play, a distant roar of Warcraft came through the air. In the twinkling of an eye, we can see that 3 advanced flying beasts have hovered on the roof. Go up, hurry up, I think I can catch up with you. Nangongyi said, a white figure has jumped up, standing behind a flying beast. Praying for the night to see one eye, the figure also one jump, ride together with South Palace. Sidu Lan grabbed Mengbai by his side and jumped like a leopard on the back of the flying beast. Ouch! With 2 roars, the 2 flying beasts have quickly chased the direction that Yunwu just left. Hey, what do you mean, wait for me? Shengguan, who had been slow for half a beat, looked at each one of them going first and immediately couldn't help shouting anxiously. The next second, the body also jumped up quickly, riding on the flying beast to catch up quickly. One by one, they left in a hurry, so they didn't notice how many people were shocked by their behavior today. Yunfeng's several people, including the Cloud Star Sun, looking at the direction of those people to leave, for a long time cannot recall. Water City. It is clear that it is in broad daylight, but at this time, the city is so quiet that no one walks around. When Yunwu and Longqingxi arrive in a hurry, this is what they see. It's quiet. No matter the streets or alleys in the city, there is no one, not even the gate guards. This situation is obviously not right. There is no one. It seems that something has happened to the Water City. The voice of Dragon Qing, evil spirit, slightly low mouth. Standing behind the golden carving, overlooking the cloud dance in the water city from a high altitude, his brow twisted. Go to Ouyang's first. As soon as the words were finished, the golden eagle had landed and flew towards Ouyang's home in the city. Chang Chang. Vaguely, it seems that some weapons are fighting each other. It smells of blood. As soon as it came down the city, a smell of blood came. Cloud dance eyebrows see you. The next second, the body has jumped from the body of the gold carving, wind elements wrapped into a purple light, toward the direction of the fighting sound mountain. Come on, hold on. Hold on, even if we die, we should protect the people inside. As soon as he got close to Ouyang's house, he heard an urgent cry. When Yunwu arrived, he saw that Ouyang Mansion, the original gorgeous water city leader, had been destroyed in a mess, and the smell of blood was thick all around. Corpses, blood and killing have completely stained the whole street leading to Ouyang Mansion. The only remaining bodyguards of Ouyang family have reached the limit and forced them to retreat step by step. Hundreds of black-robed people surrounded the whole Ouyang Mansion. The killing never stopped. This time I must be uprooted. The Dharma Protector, the leader of the black-robed people, spread his voice in a low and dignified voice. Yes, I saw that those black-robed people around were more fierce. There were few bodyguards left. At this time, there was nothing they could do. The only thing they could do was to block the entrance to the inner room with corpses, even if they were dead. The low end will count for a while. However, when a long sword pierced the guards. Poop poop. A strange knife came into the flesh. Several bodyguards thought that they would die, but in that second, they were shocked by the sudden scene. A big knife with black flame fell in front of them, and the bodies of the 7 or 8 black-robed men who had just attacked them fell down like that. 8 for 1. It's amazing. It's really scary. Yunwu came forward, pulled out the big knife inserted in a corpse, turned his eyes to the silly guards, and then turned to look at the black-robed people who were also stunned behind him. You killed the Murong family in Los Angeles? He asked flatly, but the voice spread to every person in black robe. At the same moment, the black-robed man suddenly reacted. It's you are the cloud dance. This is a positive sentence. For more than a year, they took the portraits and went through the whole Zhou dynasty. They were absolutely familiar with the appearance of Yunwu. The leader's Dharma Protector flashed a surprise. After searching for more than a year, I almost killed all the people who had relations with the Cloud family. Finally, I saw the true face of this cloud dance for the first time. Haha, today is a good day. Since you send it to me, I'm not polite. The head Dharma Protector immediately yelled to his followers around him, "What are you doing? I'll catch her quickly." Who caught her? This Dharma Protector will be greatly rewarded. See, a drink, all around black-robed people immediately with hit chicken blood, straight to Cloud Dance. Cloud Dance see this, the corner of the mouth but evoke a sneer, the bottom of the eye of the kill but full burst out. Come out and give me a man who can destroy all these beasts. A sound falls, several ray of light suddenly flash out. There was almost no chance for those black-robed people to react. A kind of strangulation started after those lights flashed. Little Stink didn't take the shape of a phoenix. Instead, it took human nature and fire elements to form a long sword, launching a new killing mode. To deal with these small scum, it's not worth turning him into a prototype. Lan Yu, not to mention, with his heartless spirit of ice, killing these dregs is like frozen dumplings. Bai Shuer and Shi Tang, of course, didn't even try their best. Killing these people is like cutting straw. Hong Ling is not out a lot of time. This out, it is wantonly joy devour. Red Fire Dragon, in fact, is more like Hong Ling than killing people. Although it's not as delicious as women, it hasn't eaten people for many years. Today, it's an exception. Ah. Ah. Scream, accompanied by more and more strong smell of blood, spread in this dilapidated Ouyang mansion. This is more than a fierce, reckless posture. I was totally shocked by the bodyguards of the Ouyang family. One by one, they were staring at each other, but they almost didn't drop their chins. However, from their eyes, we can see the more and more obvious shock and horror. Yunwoo's strength breaks through Emperor Wu. As long as it's a contract beast with her, her strength will break through. So it's really overqualified to deal with these beasts at this time. Therefore, Long Qingxie watched the bloody unilateral massacre from beginning to end. He likes it very much. Of course, he preferred to look at his little woman, so powerful and murderous. The head Dharma protector of the Beast Gate looked at the scene in horror, just arrogant expression. At this time, don't be scared at all. Instead, the whole body was scared and trembling back. Too terrible. She is the summoner, but also multi-department summoner? And strength run. The only idea of the leader is this word. So, he turned around and almost didn't think about it. Whoosh! Poof! The big knife with black fire ran straight through the back of the Dharma protector. The blood flowed from the corner of the mouth, and the horror in the eyes had been fixed forever. I'm afraid that today's 10,000 beast men will be in complete panic until they die in a moment. Mama, it's done. Small stinky padded clothes stained with a drop of blood, quickly Chaoyan Dance said. Lan Yu, they have also stopped. Hundreds of black-robed people have been turned into corpses, except for those swallowed by Hongling and Red Dragon. Master, my side is better. Hongling rarely comes out of the space, but also goes straight to Yunwu. However, the original giant cannibal in a red light turned into a handsome young man. It can also be human. Little Smelly looked at the redling who turned into something similar to himself. He turned his lips and habitually stretched out his hand to give the redling a punch. Mama hates that you eat people. Stinks. Are you disgusting? Go and play by yourself for such a long time, and I won't play with you anymore. You think I came out to play you? Well, as soon as you meet, you will quarrel all the time. Why don't you go back to space first? Cloud Dance is helpless. Finally a word, let Hongling stop. Recently he has been suffocated for too long. He doesn't want to go back to space immediately. However, at this time, Yunwu didn't pay much attention to them. Instead, he crossed the corpses of the guards and walked towards the inner room under the eyes of the shocked guards. That you? The bodyguard responded, almost immediately dragging his wounded body to keep up. What do you want to say? You are Miss Yunjiu, aren't you? Well, that's great. We thought we could never wait for you anymore. I live in our family. Let's swear to protect the Murong old lady in it. One day you will come. If you do come, I'll let you go. Oh! All nerves, after confirming the identity of Yunwu, the bodyguard seemed to be completely relieved. Before he finished speaking, his body seemed to have fallen to the limit and directly fell to the ground. Cloud Dance quickly squatted down to detect his pulse. There is also a breath. After taking out a pill from the space and putting it into his mouth, the healing power of water element is wrapped in him. A few seconds later, he saw that the guard took a long breath and woke up from the coma. Miss Yun. You're okay now. Here are some healing pills. After you have a rest, you can give them to the injured person. With that, Yunwu put the medicine bottle in his hand into the hand of the bodyguard. Then, without waiting for what the bodyguard was saying, Yunwu got up and walked quickly towards the inner room. The dragon's evil spirit naturally follows. Indoor. The room is sealed all around. It's a protective room. However, as soon as Yunwu entered the room, he was shocked. There was a bad smell in the room and a dead body lying on the bed. Yes, the body. The original kind face, lost a lot of weight, but still as peaceful and loving, very calm lying in bed, just like sleeping. This corpse is not someone else. It was the Murong old lady who saved her and made her feel warm first. But what Yunwu did not expect was that the farewell of the Cloud family became a farewell. Grandma's soft call sounded in the room. However, this cry is doomed to never be answered. My heart is like being gnawed by an ant. As she gets closer to the bedside step by step, my heart aches deeper and deeper. In my memory, old Lady Murong's love and warmth are still felt by her. but it was lost forever. Originally, she thought that if she was not related by blood, even if she felt warm, she would not really feel much pain. But at this moment of Cloud Dance, but found himself wrong. Looking at the Murong old lady lying on the bed, Yunwoo only felt the pain in her heart. Yes, she cares. She cares about all the people who have given her warmth and recognition. In fact, she is not as cold-blooded and heartless as she imagined. She couldn't stand anyone taking them, losing them, fists tightly clenched, nails deep into the heart of the hand, a sad anger, from her painful heart in bursts of rise. Beast Gate. Another Beast Gate, don't be sad, there's me. Long Qingxia's warm voice, gently brushed at the same time, the powerful arms hugged her. His women seldom shed tears. But now, the people of the Beast Gate made her cry again. One day he will hand it back to her. Just now, Yunwoo's tears across his face were quietly wiped away by the dragon. But he couldn't erase the deep sorrow in her eyes. Ouyang Mansion. Just when the little stinks were boring and trampling the corpses, several long calls came from the distance. Less than a moment. The 3 flying beasts have slipped from high altitude. Shua shua. 5 figures leaped from the 3 flying beasts. That's settled? It's so fast. It's not waiting for us. Shangguan glanced around the mess. Needless to say, he understood the killing battle just now. Meng by smell speech, direct white eye he, wait until you come, afraid day lily is cold. Why didn't you see them? Situ Lan's eyes swept around, but he didn't see the Cloud Dance and the dragon's evil. Lengleng stands on one side of Lanyu. He looks at several people coming, and turns his eyes to the room. Inside. 2 words are very concise. It's really cold, worthy of the ice system. Shangguan raised his eyebrows and looked at the blue Yu in blue clothes. He muttered with a smile. However, a few people are also tacit understanding toward the mess of the house. Just a few people just walked to the door of the room, a few people's steps stopped, the original look of laughter sink quietly looking at the house. Cloud Dance and dragon pour out evil, with the old woman's body on the bed they are facing. The identity of the old lady, maybe they don't know what it has to do with Cloud Dance. But, can let Cloud Dance hear the news face big change, non-stop straight to come, also contract beast all out of kill that group of people, from this can see, Cloud Dance care about her nervous. When Shangguan and several of them came, Yunwoo knew. With a moment's time, the sadness in the air seemed to be gradually converged. Grandma, don't worry. I will get it back for you and Murong family. A very light sentence, not much ups and downs of emotion, but can be heard from the words of a decisive. One day she will destroy all the beasts in the world. Let's go. At the end of the speech, Yunwoo didn't stay much, so she turned around and walked out of the room with Longqingxi. Nangong Yi Shangguan several people just standing at the door, looking at the clouds coming out, tacit understanding did not ask what. Brush. A flame covered the only undamaged room in front of the public. The fire of Zizi soon enveloped the whole house. Standing outside the house, the light of the fire reflected on the clouds, several people, the temperature is very high, but no one back. Cloud Dance a few people, so stand by the fire, eyes, send, Murong old lady. Quick firefighting. At this time, I saw just a few surviving bodyguards rushed in from the outside, with a face of panic. That's the only thing they're told when their master is arrested. That's the task they are going to guard with the lives of number 100 brothers. Several bodyguards, almost all half fell and half ran in, picked up the things on one side, and went straight to the fire to put out the fire. Unfortunately, the fire is too big for them to stop. Don't save it. I set the fire. Cloud Dance to turn ahead of C that really don't want the life of a few bodyguards like, opened mouth to say one. To tell you the truth, the loyalty of these bodyguards makes people admire. Miss Yun, it's old lady Murong in the house. The owner told us that we must. He let you guard is not to wait for me. The bodies of the Ouyang family leader and the trunk of the Ouyang family were not seen around. It is estimated that they were captured by the people of the Beast Gate. The body of old lady Murong has obviously been dead for a long time. Even if the corpse is not rotten by special means, the stench of corpse has already existed. If she guesses well, it should be to let her see old Lady Murong for the last time. Just, in order to give her such a favor, led to the whole Ouyang family destroyed. Really worth it? After hearing this, the bodyguard gradually calmed down. However, the sadness in the bottom of my eyes is so strong. At the cost of the lives of the 100 brothers, he turned into the dust of a fire. For a moment, he really didn't know how to adjust his mind. The other bodyguards, too, could not suppress the sense of sadness in the center. Today, in the name of the summoner, I swear that one day, I will personally destroy the Beast Gate and get back to you and those who died for me. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.